Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk episode 116. Today, I got George and Seth alongside myself. Cam will be here. Will just be a couple minutes. He's logging on any minute now. And then George, who knows how long he will be here. It's a flu game for him. He's not feeling well, but he's going to power through as best he can because he's just an absolute warrior, an absolute stallion. But today is the Glicked pod. The Barbenheimer of 2024, some could call it. So Gladiator II and Wicked, of course, are going to be reviewed. There's tons of trailers and lots of movie news this week, so we're going to be covering that all as well in this holiday week. And then we're going to go over some Q&A questions as well from our patrons at the very end. So to start us off, as always, shout out to our executive producers, Stefan Johnson and Devin Willett. Thank you for being the absolute kings that you are each and every week and every month. But with that being said, let's get into how we've been doing, what we've been watching. We'll start with Seth. Been a week. You're not here last week, so what have you been up to and what have you been watching?
Yeah, good. I had a few health things, as you know, so I had to get everything sorted. But other than that, pretty stressful. I had a pretty busy week work-wise as well, which isn't always the best. Kendrick dropped an album. Great shit. What else did I do this week? Oh yeah, I had UFC yesterday. I was in China yesterday, so it started at 8 a.m. for me, which was really nice. You know, because then I had finished at 2, so I had the full day after to do whatever, which is always nice. It doesn't really happen often. Yeah, other than that, just been booking holidays and stuff. I'm going to Copenhagen, taking my dad there for his birthday, which should be cool. In January, and then Paris for my mom's birthday, so that should be nice. And then just trying to sort everything else out. But yeah, other than that, not really too much. What have I watched since we last spoke? A couple of things. I watched a film called My Life as a Zucchini or a Courgette, if you're from here. Written by Celine Sciamma, who obviously famously directed Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Kind of a stop motion film, really, really cute, really wholesome, great stuff. I watched one of the biggest, I guess, Ridley Scott's I hadn't seen was Legend. Before Gladiator, which I watched. I liked it. I didn't love it like a lot of people, but I think practically and kind of that fairy tale essence really, really worked for me for the most part. Gladiator 2, which obviously we'll speak about. I watched Red Rooms, which is a French-Canadian thriller from this year. Well, technically, it was a film festival release last year, but it hadn't had a wide release anywhere, I don't think, other than a really, really limited one. So I think it counts as this year awards-wise. That's if it does, that's my number 2 of the year. 5-star on first watch. Only the second film this year for that to do for me. Just the most incredible look at a true crime obsession you'll ever see. It's dark. It's really, really disturbing. And it's very, very similar to a Michael Haneke in the way that it doesn't really show you much, but kind of just alludes to it all. Watched Wizard of Oz. Really, really great. Obviously, like Wizard of Oz, I just wanted to watch it before Wicked because it's been a while. Relic, which is a horror of 2020, which is okay. I watched Nightmare on Elm Street 3. George, I'm not surprised that you used to hate that. I know you don't hate it now, but that doesn't strike me as
I still don't love it.
I did, just because it's crazy. And some of the practical work in it is absurd. I definitely like it more than the OG. And I watched Strange Darling, which is the release from this year. I didn't like that at all, to be honest. I think it really, really gimmicky. I think it's a really, really dumb script I just didn't really enjoy. But I did say, I think it's one of those, like The Substance, for example, where you're either completely in or completely out on it. And then Wicked, which obviously we'll talk about. Me and Anna went to see that. And then I watched Star Wars this morning, A New Hope, because that was the one I hadn't watched in a while. That got bumped up from a 4 to a 4.5. Good shit there. And then I think me and Anna are going to be starting Arcane this week as well.
Hell yeah.
Because she's seen season 1, but she wants to rewatch it before she watches season 2. So yeah, I think we're going to be starting that tomorrow or the next couple of days. But yeah, that's kind of about it for me.
And is the one that just came out season 3, or was it season 2, which is the last season?
2.
2.
Okay, so it's just a 2-season thing. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I need to watch Red Rooms. I almost watched it on my flight the other week, before, because I feel like I've seen a couple people log it recently, but I didn't even know it was what year it was released or anything. I just saw it on my flight, Red Rooms. I was like, well, I usually like to watch rewatches on a flight because I don't think it's the best.
Yeah, it's definitely one you have to be you have to be on. You have to, you can't look away at any point. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be a flight watch at all for sure.
Yeah, but definitely I'll be watching that here soon. But yeah, I never know how they do festival or award eligible films, because I saw Hundreds of Beavers account tweet. They're I know we had it in some film festivals in 2022 and a couple more in 2023, but our official release is 2024. So please consider us. I'm when do we
Isn't
draw
it
the
like
line?
a certain amount of like theaters it has to go to?
I think it's like it has to be a certain amount of theaters and like maybe
a certain
like
amount of cities.
America plus a certain amount of countries. It's some weird thing. I don't know, but because I know Netflix. We talked about it at one point when Netflix is trying to like skirt around the no theatrical but still be eligible for Oscars type deal. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But Red Room's heard nothing but great things, so I definitely want to watch that. But glad you're back on the pod, George. We'll see how long we got you on the pod. I know you haven't been feeling well, but how you been doing, man? What have you been watching?
Yeah, struggling. Been a tough couple of days. I was telling Tyler before the podcast, I think my thermometer is lying to me because it's been telling me I haven't had a fever, but I've been sweating my ass off at night. I'm on my third load of laundry on my sheets just because of how much I'm sweating. And then just my head is just obnoxiously congested right now. I feel like it's like a balloon that's just like inflating and inflating. It's just going to pop at one point. But my week was fine. Super like standard week. Nothing like exciting going on really. Got a good chunk of watches in. Wicked, which we'll discuss. Flashpoint Paradox, which every time I watch it just climbs my rank of favorite superhero movies. It's pushing. It might be top 10 at this point. I love that movie so much. A guy I work with recommended this movie Euro Trip.
I've seen Euro Trip.
It was actually pretty funny.
Not debut, but isn't there some actor
it's
that like randomly shows up in it that's like a big name dude?
Matt Damon.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. He sings "Sky Doesn't Know" at the beginning of the movie, which is just hysterical, absolutely insane cameo. But the movie was hilarious. Victoria and I was watching that movie, and we were just. Movie came out in 2004. And now we're 20 years later. You could not make this movie now. The amount of like R words they threw out, the amount of like problematic slurs they threw out, insane that they got away with this stuff in 2004. Hilarious movie though. The Skinamarink revisit was successful. I've been talking about doing the Skinamarink revisit for quite some time. So Victoria was out with coworkers, so I figured, you know what? I got the apartment to myself. I'm gonna close my blinds. I'm gonna turn off every light, and I'm just gonna lock into Skinamarink. 3.5 is the highest I can go. It's still too long, and there are still a lot of moments that just really drag. But like it's like big moments of like really shoving its themes of just being scared down your throat. Actually like made me tear up. Like I was getting so fucking scared, dude. But there were bits of like 5 to 10 minutes here and there that just kind of like dragged. But like the entire final sequence where you just hear that like person whisper like, put the knife in your eye. And then you hear like the kid crying. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up scary. So it worked a lot better in my apartment environment by myself than in, I think I've told you this. The first theater experience I had with Skinamarink, people were laughing the entire way through, which obviously I think hindered my experience completely. So yeah, that was a successful rewatch. Victoria and I watched Hairspray, kind of kept the musical train going a little bit.
Hairspray? The good one or the not so good one?
I didn't know there were multiple Hairsprays. The 2007 one with Zac Efron.
The not so good one.
Yeah.
IMO.
It was not very good.
Watch the original. The original's cool.
I gotta up my movie musical game. I put a list together on Letterboxd, and I'm sure I'm missing some, but I only have 35 on this list.
No Singing in the Rain, George?
I haven't seen. Yeah, I mean there are big ones I haven't seen. I haven't seen Singing in the Rain. I haven't seen Sound of Music. I haven't seen Grease.
Singing in the Rain's so good.
Yeah,
like Sound of Music on like 4K. Watch it.
Yeah.
Didn't they send it to you?
Didn't they send you like 2 years ago or some shit?
Last year's. So funny enough, they're sending me some shit again this year. But last year, they sent me a sugar cooking baking kit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they didn't send me like the actual DVD, but they did. They did DM me on Instagram again like 2 weeks ago, saying, "Hey, like we'd like to send you something else." So maybe if it's the 4K, I'll watch it.
It's a good film. good.
I'm
film.
sure it is. I have nothing against the film. I'm just not.
It's a long film, George. It's like 3
yeah,
hours.
it's like 3 hours, man.
Yeah,
it's long as shit.
Just don't ever watch and see every holiday season how much they keep up in their game with the goodies they send you.
until I tell them that I just haven't watched
Yeah.
their movie. I rewatched most of the Dark Knight trilogy. I watched Batman Begins. I watched The Dark Knight, and then I watched like half of The Dark Knight Rises. I watched half of when did I? It was like Friday night. Put on The Dark Knight Rises. I was like in and out of like a bodily pain sleep while watching it, so I ended up just turning it off and going straight to bed at like 8:30. So I'll finish Dark Knight Rises and have that logged on Letterboxd.
You only really need the opening scene, and the rest is kind of down.
All right.
Hey, I still like the movie, but I mean, even people who love the movie can't deny the opening scene's the best part of it.
Yeah, maybe.
For being real.
It is sick. And then Paddington and Paddington 2. First time watches on both of those. Those were just fantastic. Yeah, those were fucking awesome, man. The first one was just super charming. Like I had a massive smile on my face the entire time I was watching the first one. And then the second one had me in and out of emotions, man.
Hey,
sorry.
Hey, Cam.
Hey, Cam. Yeah, second one had me in and out. Dude, the last 10 minutes of Paddington 2, I was a wreck, man. They were talking about bringing Paddington's aunt to London, and once Miss Brown was like, "Oh, well, you want to bring London to her," so we decided to bring her to London. I was like, "Oh no!" And then they opened the door, and she was there, and I started crying a lot. So the Paddingtons were sick, and now I'm very excited for Paddington in Peru. So I'm happy. I didn't realize, for some reason, and maybe this is just me being stupid, I thought Paul King had a massive filmography.
No, it's just he's really known just for the Paddington.
Yeah, I thought he's just I don't know why. He just, for some reason, people talk about him like he's been on the scene for like 2 decades and has like consistently been making quality films like a Wes Anderson. And then I looked at his filmography on Letterboxd, and I've only seen now 3 of his movies: The Paddingtons and Wonka, and Bunny and the Bull is like it.
He's done some like big TV show stuff, I think, as well.
So, I mean, I guess we can say it's early in his career, so I'm excited to see how this unfolds because he's making nothing but heartwarming bangers. But yeah, that's all I've been watching. I'll have Arcane finished by next week, and I'll do like my full formal season 2 roundup, I guess, on the pod.
That would be perfect because next week's got Moana 2, and then other than that, the release is looking kind of weak. So we could definitely use like a secondary thing to cover next week. So
yeah,
biggest pod of the year.
Yeah, who would have thought 2 years ago, did George Carmi of 2 years ago would be saying, I had the house to myself tonight, so I was just going to pop in some Skinamarink, just going to lock into some Skinamarink. This is growth. And
even
direction
Victoria
knows, but
even Victoria walked in the apartment. She's like, "Are you watching Skinamarink?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got bamboozled into watching Skinamarink again."
No, that's the full evolution into full. That side of George would be like screaming. I'd be like, "It's not watching, it's experiencing." Cameron, hello, how you doing today?
Hey.
What have you been up to this week? What have you been watching? Countertops, cabinets. What was the big thing this week? Shelving in the closet, pantry.
Yeah, nothing really. Put up some temporary shelving in the closet that'll stay forever. I'm sure it won't be temporary. But that really helped because it got a bunch of shit off the floor, which is very, very nice. So that's like my favorite thing we've ever put in because now the house looks like we don't have as many boxes lying around. It's great. Also, when I join late, I expect applause, some celebrations, some cheering. So next time, let's pick that up, fellas.
You're like
nothing.
I mean, you're walking in with your coffee. You're like a girl in lecture in college where they walk in 10 minutes late, but with like a brand new Starbucks. It's like, what are you doing?
To be fair, this coffee is like you see, it's not branded. This is like I have like to-go cups at home,
unbranded king.
I find that I just simply leave coffee cups in my car. Like it will build up like a madman. I'll run out of cup holders and I'll just start like placing them on the seat as carefully as I can so that like old coffee shit doesn't spill, or I'll leave them on like my desk for like 2 weeks and then finally bring them home. So I have the old like cups that I can just throw away. It's disposable cups. Very, very, very convenient for me. Nothing going on this week. Had a lot of work. Got some stuff done at the house. Emma's doing a little like Friendsgiving get together today, so I'm hanging out at my parents. But my grandparents are like both my grandmas are in town for Thanksgiving, so I'll see them, which is nice. Didn't watch a ton this week. Watched a lot of college basketball. It's feast week, so it's like basically there's college basketball on for 13 hours a day. It starts at 11 a.m. and then normally there's some Hawaii or some crazy game starting at midnight, which is nice. Yeah, it's just fun stuff. But I watched Glicked, obviously. I watched Gladiator the first. That movie is just so goddamn good. And Tyler, your score depresses me. Technically watched Lord of the Rings last week. Nah, it's not good enough. Not good enough. Technically watched Lord of the Rings last week. I just rated it this week. And then How to Train Your Dragon. I was on, like, I think I said last week on the pod, I was like, the trailer made me want to watch it, so I might as well. So I did. And hot take here, guys, it's a good movie. And it might have like one of the best scores ever. The dun 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 dun. That shit hits, man. It's so goddamn good. Like it's really awesome whenever it plays. Like every time it plays, you're like, yeah, got it right. So yeah, good film. I'm a fan. I haven't logged any of the Gladiators or Wickeds yet, and I don't know. It will be a surprise on the pod because I don't know where I'll be logging it. Also, I think Letterboxd has ruined the friendship of like texting controversial like reviews, kind of like I don't know. I don't text you guys. What do you guys think? Just go to Letterboxd or wait for Letterboxd kind of thing, and that's not fun. I think we should stop using boycott Letterboxd. Boycott Letterboxd.
I'm sure that'll go down well.
Share me your Google Sheets instead. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. The Google Sheets is making a return.
Are you still using them, Cam? Ever?
No, it's been a while. I got like 20 movies behind, and now I'm like 500 movies behind, and it's just lost. I really made, when I first started Letterboxd, I really made the effort. Missed one or two here and there. Missed a week, turned into a month, and now it's been a year, and it's over. It's over, unfortunately. I can go, but it would be fun to like maybe look at it and see if my scores have changed like crazy. But I guess I can use Letterboxd.
Mine's somewhere.
Letterboxd for that. Yeah. I mean, I have it. I got it pulled up right here. It's just the same. It's bookmarked on my computer. It's the same shit though.
I'm trying to find mine.
2 Towers in 98. That'll drop.
Oh, boo.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I just don't love it.
Yeah, been a busy week for me. Work's been super chaotic lately. Been working a lot of late nights, but I'm just really excited for Thanksgiving break because Monday, Tuesdays I'm working this week, and then after that I have back-to-back weeks of travel, and like basically the last couple of weeks we've been prepping a ton of stuff for this travel, and I'm just ready to. Once I log off Tuesdays, like we're buckled in. Like if we're not prepared or like something's wrong or people are disagreeing on something, too late, doesn't matter. We're strapped in now and traveling because like we're off for Thanksgiving break and then immediately like Monday flying for the next 2 weeks. So just a lot of pieces are trying to be put together and a lot of people are coming up with it's just a whole lot of chaos. And it's just like once this Tuesday is done, it's like, okay, we're buckled in. No one can change anything. But been a hectic week of work and then been a chill weekend. College football yesterday was crazy. To put it in like movie terms, it's like if there's 10 movies going for like best picture nominations, then the week before the nominees are announced, like 8 of them just all combust and explode or are deemed ineligible. And then the people are just left saying like, well, Bad Boys Ride or Die. Like that was like maybe good enough to be a best. Like it's just, you're just left scrambling to try and find 10 people that are worthy. But yeah, college football yesterday was crazy. SEC fraud conference. They need they're so annoying. They need to get off their high horse. But great day. NFL today should hopefully be good as well. But and then just a short work week, and then we got the Thanksgiving, which the most exciting part of that for me is just time off work. But Riley and I are going to do some she works Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're doing Wednesdays, our Thanksgiving. So I just took that day off of work. We're going to cook a good meal, and it should be
making turkey or no?
Nah, anti-turkey.
Not even going to try the turkey.
The most perfectly cooked turkey in the world is still a 5 out of 10. So there's
there's definitely ways to make turkay very good.
There's ways to make
There's way more ways to make it mid. You're not wrong, but
the best way to make it good is 12 sticks of butter and deep frying it.
I will say, Emma's family, they deep fry it, and I've never had a deep fried turkey before. Meeting her, shit's gas. That's really good.
I'll take ham every day.
Dude, I've seen so many videos about people deep frying turkeys in their garage and houses just combusting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean,
the best part of holiday season. Just watch the idiots weed themselves out.
One of those things you can definitely ruin the holiday with. But
yeah,
if you're not dumb about it, you just have to lower it in slowly. That's all you have to do.
Well, and the thing is with turkey, you have to thaw it an hour or two per pound of turkey, which means usually you have to be thawing it for a day or two, which a lot of people are probably just that's way too long. I could thaw this out in 3 hours. Then they drop it in oil and
it explodes.
We always
it's The House and the Instigators. What a pull that is.
Nice.
Cam knows. We watched that together.
Yeah, that's a movie. That's a film. That's definitely something.
Yeah.
We get a 25-pound turkey, and it's one of those things my mom's got to get up at 5 a.m. to start cooking for a 5 p.m. dinner and just throw it in. And I feel bad for her, but hey, turkey. I like food.
And the best part about it is you just get leftovers for ages, and that's always the best.
I always go for the legs, the big mutton chop legs. It's great. They're too good.
But yeah, that's kind of how we've been doing what we've been watching. It's time to get into Glicked, and I figured the way.
Did you say yours, Tyler?
Oh yeah, I did not say what I've been watching. I haven't watched a ton, so it won't be too much. But I watched the Wizard of Oz, I rewatched Gladiator, 3.5 for me. Like it. I don't love it, but Russell Crowe's great, and the score's nice. And it's nice in Gladiator 2 to get a little taste of that score once again. But again, the score not so much in Gladiator 2, but Gladiator the original. I just can't. Every time I watch it, I just think of Pirates of the Caribbean. I just feel the scores are so similar. Yeah, and even actually I was an annoying film bro, at the Hans Zimmer concert thing I went to, because the person performing it was introducing the song was one person in our ensemble thinks it sounds too much like Pirates of the Caribbean. And
Gladiator came out first.
That's what I know. And
it does sound
but it's still Hans Zimmer. He just rinses and repeats the score. But I was an annoying film bro where I whisper over to Riley. I'm I literally said that in my first letterbox review of Gladiator. I was this sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean. So I was an annoying asshole. But yeah, fine. And then I watched Wizard of Oz, which such a go-to movie. George, I saw you removed your rating. Wasn't that one of your hot takes on one of the early ReelTok episodes? You hated Wizard of Oz, or just thought it was overrated?
Wizard of Oz is the most racist behind the scenes, or
it's actually a lot of it is a myth. A lot of the behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong.
No. I posted a TikTok video a while ago about things that have been true about the behind the scenes.
No, there were some bad, but then some people say some crazy shit. It's just that's just not true.
I mean, what are we talking about? There's 1930s Hollywood. I don't think there was an ethical production that was made.
Yeah.
True.
I literally think there's zero. I think by definition, if you're making movies at that time period, there's not ethical ways that.
That's why old movies are bad, right, Seth?
They were just covering Judy Garland and asbestos like it was freaking who knows. But yeah, what, George, you don't like it? Not a fan still, or you need to rewatch?
I mean, listen, I haven't watched it since junior year of high school, maybe. So I just removed my rating because I just haven't seen it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I removed my rating, I think, after I had seen Skinamarink, because then someone immediately logged the Wizard of Oz, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll have a Skinamarink instance with the Wizard of Oz, which I don't think will happen. I still see clips of the movie on TikTok, and they just really annoy me.
I hate it.
It looks so good.
I love Wizard of Oz.
It looks so good.
I don't I said this in my review. I was I could maybe throw the rewatch tag on because I think probably when I was 5, I watched it, but I never at a coherent age ever saw it. So, yeah,
I watched this movie when I was 10, and one of those movies I despised because it wasn't like CGI robots.
Yeah.
No, you know, like I'm so out of the loop of Wizard of Oz that I texted Riley while I was watching. I was like, somewhere over the rainbows from Wizard of Oz. Like that's how out of the loop I was. I thought that was just the Hawaiian dude's like eternal creation. Like I thought he made that. I thought that dude just had that in his creativity bag. I watched My Old Ass, which is a movie that people love from this year that I really didn't. And I texted Sophie after it because she's like the only one of my mutuals who like also didn't like it. And she's like, yeah, I don't understand how people like this movie. It's by the director Megan Park. She did The Fallout, which I like. And this movie just felt like, I don't know. It just was, it's like the same high thought that everyone has. Because basically she goes in the woods and takes mushrooms and then like sees her older self. And her older self tells her like, this and this is going to happen in your life, so don't do this. And it's basically like the classic, everyone's thought of it, like if you were 20 years older and go back in time, what would you tell your future self? Like would you do stuff to like improve your life? Would you change things? And then also the classic trope of like, is it better to have loved and lost or have never loved at all? And it's like, I don't know, I just felt like this movie thought it was so deep, but it wasn't. But the first like 10-20 minutes I thought was going to be the most annoying movie ever, but it ended up not being that bad, so just 2.5 for me. But yeah, really disappointed with that because a lot of people really liked it. And then watch Flow, which is, who knows if it'll be nominated for like best animated feature. I feel like one of the more like under the radar films normally gets thrown in there, at least one of them. But I really liked it. It reminded me a lot of Robot Dreams from last year, where it's like there's no talking and there's no humans, but it's like a very deeply empathetic human film. It's a black cat during the apocalypse going around trying to survive this Earth that's been no more humans are on it, and it's just, you know, he finds a capybara, finds a couple other humans that are each, it's almost like a little Wizard of Oz. They each kind of have their own quirky traits that they all get through this journey together. But very emotional movie if you're a black cat owner, because they're just cute. Riley walked in while I was watching it and she's like, yeah, I'd be crying this whole movie. And that's not even necessarily saying it's like a sad movie through and through, but just, you know, a cute black cat, like, you know, it just pulls at you. But yeah, and then Gladiator II, did not watch Wicked because Riley really, really loves Wicked, wants to see it. But she's been working, so we are going to go see it, I think probably Tuesday. But yeah, she said Wicked scarred her because in 5th grade she tried out for the musical and was deemed a backup replacement for the character of Glinda. And she was very disappointed about that in 5th grade. And she
tough scenes.
It's hard for her to get over, but finally she's going to break it and break into Wicked and see it. So excited for that. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. Not a whole lot, but figured now since we'll get into Glicked, I will do this real quick. So where are we going to be starting today? Wicked.
Okay.
I feel like I
think it's going to be Gladiator 2.
You think 50-50? All right. Well,
I think it's going to land right in the middle, and we'll still have to decide.
Okay. Wicked is the beginning. So all three of you saw Wicked, if I'm not mistaken. I love the confetti.
Yeah.
I did not, as I mentioned about 35 seconds ago. So I will introduce Wicked, and then I will let you two take it. So directed by John Chu, who's directed In the Heights, Crazy Rich Asians, Step Up 3. I think 3. He only did one. I think it's 3 because
it's 2 and 3.
Oh, both of them. Well, shout out you. But everyone deserves a chance to fly. Elphaba, an ostracized but defiant girl born with green skin, and Glinda, a privileged aristocrat born popular, become extremely unlikely friends in the magical land of Oz. As the two girls struggle with their opposing personalities, their friendship is tested as both begin to fulfill their destinies as Glinda the Good and the Wicked Witch of the West. Going to be one of the biggest smash hits of the year. Wicked Part 2 coming out about a year from now, I believe. But yeah, already doing incredible with
that's actually.
Yeah, and doing incredible with the populace in terms of popular reviews. I'm doing crazy box office numbers as well. So, and Gladiator 2 is doing incredible box office numbers too. So it really is kind of living up to the Barbenheimer hype. It's not going to probably get as much as those two combined, but still, it's
the budget. It's the budget Barbenheimer.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing to scoff at whatsoever. So, yeah, I'll let you all get into Wicked. All three of you saw it. Cam, I know stepped away, but he'll be back because all three of you got Glicked this weekend. So take it away. Let's hear your thoughts on Wicked.
George, do you want to start higher or lower?
We can start higher.
Okay.
Yeah, never in a million years that I think I'd be a Wicked defender. But here we are. A wicked ender. Sorry, I'm so twisted right now. No, I had a really good time with this. I had a much better time with this than I had anticipated. A big reason for that is Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. I think they are absolutely stunning. They are every single scene of this movie, and I think they do such a fantastic job at just rising to that occasion and just carrying this movie on their backs. I tweeted Ariana Grande Best Supporting Actress. That's not a joke.
That was a fun night to wake up. I woke up.
Yeah, that was a funny sequence of events. But the sentiment of that tweet was real. She is my number one. Joan Chen from Didi would be a close two. But unfortunately, I think that's a performance that'll likely get overlooked by the Academy. But yeah, I had a really good time with Wicked. This falls into a similar experience I had with Barbie, watching Barbie, where I watched Barbie with Victoria, and I got to see her react to something that she absolutely adores. And she's a huge Wicked fan. Every time I looked over while we were watching this movie, she had watery eyes. Literally, even if it wasn't a sad moment, she was just so happy with what she was watching. And then she watched it a second time. I did not watch it a second time with her, but she went to watch it a second time and immediately texted me like, better on second watch. This movie is just fucking fantastic. I'm not as high as Victoria, but having her next to me and just watching her watch this movie certainly amplified my experience. But even beyond that, has she seen what?
Wicked
on Broadway? Yeah, she has.
Okay.
But yeah, even beyond that, I was really stunned with how, I guess, enthralled I was with the musical numbers, which is something I can't really say about Hairspray, which I watched a couple days after Wicked. I really didn't like Hairspray's musical numbers. I don't think they were as catchy as, something I would have been more attracted to. But Wicked's musical numbers were just so fun. They were so lively. Cynthia and Ariana just having phenomenal voices just really adds to it. I think people, and we'll obviously get into this, so I'll kick it off. I think people are wildly overreacting to how this movie looks. There's an obvious aggressive backlight in certain scenes, particularly the library scene, which is just so glaring. Like, there are moments where I'm like, what was the logic behind that decision? But Seth, I'm not calling out your Letterboxd review. It's just the one thing on my mind right now. Where
it looks good.
Yeah, Seth, you said very, very ugly, and I completely
it is not ugly
with that. It's not ugly.
Well, you finish and then I'll.
Yeah, it's maybe like I get it. Like, I don't mind the realistic shit. I really don't. Like, I couldn't care less. Like, I think the movie looks good. I think the practical design is incredible. Like I said,
design is cool. To be fair.
Yeah, the backlighting is aggressive in certain moments, but I don't know. I think calling this movie ugly is just such a wild exaggeration because I think the movie looks great. Most clips that people are posting on Twitter, I'm like this looks good. Like, there are like when they first get to Shiz University, like that whole sequence looks fantastic. Even when they get to Oz, it looks good. People are just comparing the colors to the Wizard of Oz. And I think that's just a little bit of an unfair comparison. I don't think this movie looks nearly as bad as everyone is saying it does. There are moments, I will not at all deny that's a big reason that what's holding this movie back for me is just the fact that there is such an aggressive backlight on some of these scenes. But I think as a whole, the movie looks great. I really do. I think the musical numbers pop. I think the colors pop more than people are giving it credit for. I think the practical design and John Chu's very detailed mind just brings to life something no one ever thought they would see in a movie theater. No one ever thought they would see this outside of Broadway. So I don't know. I think people are getting a little carried away with how much hate they're giving this movie on its appearance. But yeah, I mean, beyond that, I like this movie a lot. I had a really good time. I'll let you guys talk. We're going highest to lowest. So I guess, Cam, you want to go next? Because I'm assuming you were higher than Seth.
Yeah, I really love this. I liked it the most out of the Glicked weekend. Not to spoil Gladiator, I guess, but I really, really enjoyed it. It's so much fun. I tweeted just the stupid when the function got image, and I was like, when the musical got good music and fun. Like, that's all I'm looking for, man. I think when I walked back in, George, you were saying the music's great, and it's like yeah, it really helps that Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are just very good singers.
Good at singing.
Yeah, like obviously it's not.
Like, dude, even when I was watching Hairspray a couple days ago, like there was a whole number with Christopher Walken, and I'm like, this dude cannot sing. This is horrifically bad.
That's like the Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia.
Yeah,
like, he's awful at singing, man. But I accept in Mamma Mia.
But he's Pierce Brosnan, so it's okay.
I'll allow it in Mamma Mia. But yeah, just everyone in this could sing their ass off, specifically them two. And I just had a really good time with it. I think George is spot on. Like the movie looks good. I don't know if I was expecting like way more muted colors, but I feel like everything I saw was that it was just dull. It had plenty of color. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. It's not the Wizard of Oz and the stills you get from that, but I don't know. You could tell it had plenty of color. I think where this movie production made the critical error is like talking about it and saying like they were going for more of a realistic look. Like that quote from John Chu. It's like there's flying monkeys in this and wizards and witches. And so just shut up. Just be like, it's not a real place. It doesn't matter actually. Like none of this matters. Like shut up. Yeah. Tell them we should be allowed to tell the media to shut up more often, I think, as a society. I think Ariana Grande is great in this. Is she supporting actor, George?
Yeah.
Yes,
she was supporting.
yes.
Yeah.
I feel like she was like the main.
So
no, I mean, centered around Elphaba.
Funny enough, what were there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you could argue.
I think they were both leads, but
Idina Menzel
it is centered around Elphaba for like the most part. It's like around her.
Yeah,
but
it's like her story and Galinda's.
Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, who played these two characters in the Broadway show for like 2 years or however long it was, they were both nominated for Best Actress at the Tonys. They didn't split them up. So a lot of people are thinking that maybe that'll inspire the Oscars to consider, or that'll inspire the production of the movie to, for your consideration them for either both for supporting or both for best.
Yeah.
Has that happened before?
In movies? I don't know. I'm sure there's an example.
Maybe never, but I'm sure there's been a time. There's been a lot of movies here and there. I'm sure they've submitted.
No, I mean like both. I mean both nominated. I mean not like just both.
The Marvels nominated their 3 leads.
No. I mean both nominated.
Like actually nominated.
I feel like from the same.
I have no idea. I'm sure it's happened more times than we would think.
Not a clue. But yeah, I just had such a great time with this. I went and saw it at 10:30 last night. Here's a theater experience. BS. So I went to Gladiator. My screening was 9:10. I think. Yeah, 9:10. It's a 2-hour, 20-minute movie. There was an 11:30 screening of Wicked.
11:30.
11:30 p.m.
That's late.
That is really late. It's real late, but
that is late.
I mean, it's all I got these days. Like, I got kids and such. Don't go to movies on when I would like to. But the AMC app, because they overlapped by like 4 minutes, because I think the true time is like 2:24 or something, wouldn't let me purchase a Wicked ticket on my AMC Stubs list. So I went to the person at the desk and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to be able to help you with that." And I was like, "Come on. Like, I can't just scan it and like get it." And then I was like, Scout's honor, I have AMC Stubs list. Can I just walk in? Can I just go into the movie? And they're like, we can't let you do that. Obviously, I probably could have.
If you didn't say anything.
Yeah,
if I didn't say anything, I could have. But bullshit. So then I had to go last night, and I wasn't paying for it. I'm sorry. If I have AMC A-list, I'm not going to pay for the damn thing. I probably spent more on gas just to get there, but it's fine. It was 3D. I didn't entirely want to see it in 3D. It was more just like a convenient thing. But I didn't have the glasses, and I didn't want to ask for the glasses because then they'd be like, "Well, obviously you're going." Whatever. I think that's stupid. AMC Stub list. Like I would have been.
Why couldn't you just buy a ticket at the box office, like not within your AMC Stubs app?
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't paying. I have AMC Stubs. I'm not paying for a ticket.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then, like I said, I probably spent more on gas and just I bought 2 drinks as much as a ticket. Yeah, it's just I know. But either way, I'm not paying you damn money if I'm already paying for your subscription service.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. But yeah, let me just go in. I had AMC Stubs. I was showing them. I'm like, I still have reservations available. Let me go in. And they said no. Assholes. But yeah, I went at 10:30 last night, which is well past my bedtime, and I was locked in for this thing. It was tons of fun. And that's honestly, that's like my best like review I can give for movies these days is I just go super late. So it's like, am I fighting to stay awake or am I watching this? Like, because
10:30 is late. I don't
Also,
10:30 is late, man.
I will
really
say, I don't know
late.
about you guys. I did not feel the 2 hour and 40 minute.
I was the same. I think musicals in general.
There are moments where I did, but yeah, anytime there's music, no.
Musicals, even if I don't like them as much, for some reason, go quicker most of the time.
Like they started singing "Defying Gravity," which we knew was going to be the last scene of the movie. And I even looked at Victoria and I was like, "Wait, they're already singing Defying Gravity?" I was like, "I feel like we've only been in this theater for like an hour and a half."
Yeah.
Which, credit to the movie. I was expecting to not have a good time with a 2 hour and 40 minute musical.
Good film.
Seth, let's hear your slightly more negative thoughts.
Yes. We will start with the negatives. I do think it's ugly. I do think it's ugly. However,
I don't know.
However,
not here for it.
I think the issue is for me, it's a difficult one because I do think I think it's a very earnest. I think they put effort into like. I don't think it's on the verge of like The Lion King 2019 or.
It's a good-looking movie. Not good looking. They look like lions.
No,
what the fuck do you want?
No. That's not what I mean. I mean in terms.
They look like lions.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think The Lion King is soulless.
The Lion King stole.
I think Wicked was made in faithful adaptation. I think they really put their heart and soul into it. But I think it's very ugly, and I don't think the director knows how to operate a camera very well. I think the lighting is terrible for the most part, especially like George said in the library scene. I think that the main thing, and again, this is funny because I'm very negative by the way it looks, but it's a difficult one because I think Ariana Grande and
Cynthia
Erivo are really, really good. Now, not to be that guy who's like, saying Ariana Grande is not as good, she's better than I expected. But she is, because I hadn't seen her in anything. How am I supposed to? I
have a take here, just while we're on Ariana Grande. Sorry, it's like I fully can see her getting Oscar nominated and even winning. I think she's that good. This is like a system role for her. I don't know what other movie or what other role she could play. Like,
she is like so.
Like I don't know.
She is the role.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think both of them are every chance they get when it's a sequence of just those two. Like for example, in the song "Loathing," that one, that's really really cool with those two. And I think every chance they get, they get to play off each other and to be there, in their respective personalities and to kind of play off, especially at the start when they're kind of bickering back and forth, whatever, is really good and genuinely quite moving. Like I think the final song. I think the last half an hour looks terrible, but I think it really works in that it's earnest. They feel they're putting their all into it. They're singing at the top when she's about to fly away, which obviously we'll get into, but it's pretty obvious what happens. I think that's a really, really great scene for them both. I just think that the difficulty is, and when you've got him coming out and saying, I think this is like a general Hollywood film, that they have this thing with trying to make everything down to earth. It's like we've got like Cam said, like flying monkeys, like just give us exaggerated color. And if you still want to say it's colorful and word for you, that's fine. For me, it wasn't as vibrant as I want us to feel. I think that, so those two are really, really good. The musical numbers for the most part I liked as well. I think, especially at the end and the Loathing one, which I said. And what's the final song actually called?
Defying Gravity.
Is that Defying? Okay, yeah, Defying Gravity. Yeah. I really like that. I think I like Wicked as a film, but I actually enjoy being in this setting. And to be fair, similar to what you said, I admittedly expected to hate this. Maybe not when I saw the opening reviews come out. I was like, okay, maybe that's quite good. But then when we initially saw the trailer, I thought this would be horrible in every fashion. And I don't think it is. I don't think it's the same route as a Disney live action remake. I don't think it's a soulless cash grab with nothing to offer. I just don't think it looks very good. But I think what they have in it with the performances, most of them work and work really, really well. So it's almost more of a compliment to Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo that I liked this film for the most part, because I think they're great. And yeah, so Cam, you didn't say your score, did you? I actually wanted to know. Did you say your score?
Oh, I don't. It's because I haven't rated it, so I think it'll be a 4-star. Man, I've been fighting with like 4.5. I really like it, but it'll be like maybe a low 80s score, maybe middle of the road 80s. I'm looking at John Chu's filmography right now. He did the shit Now You See Me and the shit G.I. Joe, but he did Crazy Rich Asians. So
he did Step Up 2 as well, which is kind of like,
chill on Now You See Me, bro.
No. Now You See Me 2 is bad. Now You See Me good. Okay. Now You See Me a guilty pleasure.
He also did the Justin Bieber.
He did the Justin Bieber doc.
Never Say Never. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, nice. Shout out Bieber, man.
Shout young Bieber.
I'm gonna respectfully call out our good buddy Alex Coleman, because I think a lot of people are calling this theater or musical infinity war. And
he is calling it that.
He is calling it. He's called it, on every app possible. I kind of disagree with that sentiment. I think.
What do you mean?
I don't think this was just an entire fan service experience. I think I've seen enough behind.
I think this is way different.
I've seen enough of like the behind the scenes, and shout out that Jillian girl for tweeting incessantly about this movie, because she's kind of the one that made me like look at this movie differently while watching it. They put so much care and effort into everything, building that green train from scratch, building the whole field, that colorful field, like it's like a Chris Nolan Interstellar corn stupid fact kind of thing. Like everything was just handcrafted so like precisely. This wasn't just massive CGI slop. I think it might have been Doug who called this corporate cinema in his Letterboxd review. And that's just something I completely disagree with this movie. I think they do enough in this movie to show us that they actually cared about this production.
I think this is a lot different than saying like a live action remake, because like
Lion King,
like or anything. Yeah. Just like no one's gonna watch Wicked on. I mean, obviously, if you go to Broadway and see a show, like great. Yeah. The majority of people, I had no fucking clue what this is about. I'm still not really sure. If I have any
zero clue what this was about.
I don't know where we're going with it. Like, I don't have a single bit of knowledge. I've never heard Defying Gravity. I've never heard Popular. I've never heard any of these songs or any of these things in my life. They opened this up with the Wicked Witch of the West is Dead, and I was like,
I was like, what the fuck just happened?
I didn't realize this was attached to like the Wizard of Oz at all. I knew it was like about the Wizard of Oz or in like Wicked Witch of the West and the East, obviously. Like I knew that like these characters were in it, had no clue. So I think this is more than just like, yeah, we're gonna remake something that like anyone can see, because really not everyone can see a Wicked or a different. Make the Book of Mormon. I've watched clips of that online and it looks funny. Make that into a.
Apparently it's good on stage, to be fair.
Yeah, it's like the South Park guys, I think. Apparently it's hilarious. But sorry, I just think it's a little different than like say a live action remake that just happens to have heart.
I think there was enough like care that went into this entire production where I'm not calling it like slop or corporate cinema or
once the sequel comes out though.
Yeah, once the sequel comes, it's slop for sure. That's all it takes is a sequel. But I don't know. I think I've seen enough of the behind the scenes and the way they produced this movie to kind of like have a really good amount of respect for it. Also, I think I just respect the production of this movie, like its practical design, so much that I don't let something as simple as like the lighting of a few scenes just completely derail my experience with this movie. But go.
No, can someone help me out here? Because I'm looking at the cast. So Ariana Grande's name, like character in this, is Galinda/Glinda.
Yeah.
Is there a difference? Like, am I missing something?
Well, remember,
did you watch the film?
Yeah, did you watch the movie?
It's in the film. Well, this is why you don't go at 10:30.
I'm confused.
Her name is Glinda.
And then
with
the
like
goat.
GL.
And the goat, yeah.
The goat couldn't
Glinda.
say Glinda. So
yeah, no, I remember that, but like I thought it was still just like Glinda.
No. But then when they're at the train,
she's about to get on the train.
Her name in solidarity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
To get his attention. Do you remember?
Now I remember. My bad.
Also, the goat.
I remember all these scenes. I was just like,
the entire time I was like, whose voice is that?
Dude, I knew the voice.
I knew.
I know. Every time he opened his mouth, I was like, bro, I know that.
It took me a while.
Voice.
It took me a while. Yeah.
I had to look at the letterbox cast. I couldn't figure it out.
I didn't know Jeff Goldblum was in this. And am I wrong? Is Jeff?
No, wait. Don't. That's a spoiler.
Okay, thank you,
I know exactly what you're about to say.
My bad.
That's a spoiler.
Okay.
You are right, but that's a spoiler.
Cool. Let's go to spoilers then.
Do not. No. That's a spoiler for the second movie. Like we're not supposed to know that in the first movie.
Interesting.
Depending
I'm
on what you're
knower, man. Look at this knowledge.
Hold on. Depending on what you're talking about.
I think we can still ask though. Like I'm not gonna. Once we get into spoilers, and then we can.
All right, let's get into spoilers because now I'm just curious. All right, we're spoiling potentially Wicked Part 2 as well right now. Maybe.
Okay, time out. Sorry. So spoilers for Wicked Part 2. Apparently, he's her mom or her. Sorry, he's her dad, right?
Yes.
Okay, because it's Jeff Goldblum at the start of the movie, and I'm like, who is that? Trying to think, and then when he comes on screen, I'm like, yes, it's Jeff Goldblum. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, but stupidly, the when the soundtrack dropped on Spotify, it says Jeff Goldblum is singing in that song.
I didn't know that was
I think it's one of those things where like this has been a fucking theater show for the last 20 years. Like that's probably a spoiler everyone should just know. I didn't know it. Victoria told me because she was like, "Oh, by the way," and she was like, "Oh, do you care if I tell you?" And I was like, "I don't care at all. Just tell me what you're about to say." And she told me that, and I was like, "You know what? I would have never picked that up. Like I didn't
seen Wicked.
I have not. Victoria has.
Is it?
I know. I want to see
it a long one or like?
Is there
Victoria says it's like 4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, well, you watch it? Do you watch it in parts?
That's insane, man.
It's Act 1 and Act 2. The movie is Act 1 of the theater.
No, that makes sense. I didn't know. Like, I thought the movie added fluff here and there to make it 2 hours.
I'm sure they did.
I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah,
but if it's 4 hours, you're not adding that much fluff. If it were like 1.5 hours,
I mean, it depends on how long the second movie is going to be, I guess. But yeah, the Act 1 of the play is not 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
No. That makes sense. I figured not. I just didn't realize the play was split into Act 1 and Act 2. I just thought that.
Yeah.
That I kind of thought was a corporate.
I thought the whole play was like 2.5 hours.
No, dude, Broadway shows are long as shit.
Let's see. Wicked.
I swear I hear it. Let me see.
Let's see. It is
2 hours
45 minutes. Yeah.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Crazy.
Oh wow, that is much shorter than I had anticipated.
Corporate cog fluff. Mid.
It's a cog.
So we've got Act 1 in the same amount of time, practically.
Yeah.
Wow. We're still like watching The Hobbit 3 and Wicked 2.
Wicked Part 2.
Good.
The desolation of the Wicked Witch of the West. That's what they should call it. Any specific? I feel like this is not a movie that we can can spoil. We can certainly spoil it, but not in a movie that we.
Oh yeah, because she becomes like Glinda the Good, right? That's what she calls herself, or that's like what her name is in the Wizard of Oz.
But she's different from the Wizard of the witch that gets crumbled by a house at the beginning of the Wizard of Oz. That is not Glinda.
No, Glinda's. I haven't seen the Wizard of Oz in a while. I thought Glinda's like guiding them through their.
Yeah, no. Glinda works with the wizard and the
Glinda's the
spreading the wizardry propaganda.
She's the good witch, no? Like how so?
Yeah, well, yeah, but like, is she? Because Wicked's making me question that.
No, but she is the good witch.
First thing I asked Victoria after the movie was, am I supposed to be rooting for the Wicked Witch of the West? Like, is she the good guy?
Yeah.
For real.
Which I think she
utter woke nonsense of 2024. Wicked. No one can just be wicked anymore.
The sympathetic villain, Cam. We were talking about the
sympathetic villain. Make her like the Penguin. Make her like the Penguin.
Wicked Part 2 should be the Wicked Witch just slaughtering people.
Yeah, I know, but genuinely, I had no clue what this movie was about. So like, it's ending, and I'm like,
did I?
So where am I supposed to be? I gotta watch the Wizard of Oz, man. I gotta go back on that one and just see where I'm supposed to be at. But that witch was wicked, if I remember as a kid.
That witch was super wicked.
She already scared. She always scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, she's scary.
Yeah, she terrified me. Had that
she was super
big
wicked.
mole on her nose. She was terrifying, man.
Yeah, I love that. I might be forgetting this incorrectly, but at the beginning of the movie, when they announced that the witch is dead, and they're like burning like the banners with the witch's face. I might be forgetting this completely, but I'm remembering it as the Wicked Witch's face from The Wizard of Oz, and not Cynthia Erivo's face.
It might have been actually, though.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm pretty sure that was like a thing. Like
all I could think of during that opening scene where they're like celebrating the Wicked Witch of the West dying is the like. Have you seen like the meme of them reading the newspapers of Hitler dead?
Yeah.
That's all I could think of, man.
I've been seeing that all over Twitter these last 2 weeks.
Know what? I don't know if do we want to do some like song rating at some point?
Oh yeah,
I have an underrated
song rating. Okay.
Like what's your favorite song for this? Seth?
I mean, Defying Gravity is the one I've been listening to the most.
I like Popular. I think
Popular is good. Yeah, I like Popular.
Those are the two famous ones. I guess this one might be famous as well. My favorite song was "What Is This Feeling?" The Loathing song.
I know. I think Loathing's a me as well. Loathing was good.
That one was such a banger, and that's when this movie was like, I fucking love these songs, man. And then everything after that was awesome. But
Loathing was good.
Yeah,
Popular.
That song was my favorite. Was the "What Is This Feeling?" There
are some bangers.
Any spoilers to get into with this? I mean, I know there are. I think the biggest one is apparently Jeff Goldblum being her dad.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
But Victoria was like, you know, when he was singing with her mom and they didn't show him, Victoria was like, yeah, you could tell it's Jeff Goldblum's voice.
You can.
I completely missed that. I could not tell at all.
I think he's got such a distinct voice, though. I think, like, I thought it was those damn Ancestry.com ads that he was, or is that what he does? He does some ad like that, but
I forgot he was even in the movie until I saw him. I did not know. So I was not even thinking about Jeff Goldblum, and I didn't think that was like I didn't know Wicked had a twist like that, like I Am Your Father kind of twist.
It's fair.
Yeah.
So I was a little.
You know who can't sing in this?
Who?
I know what you're gonna say. Wait.
Who am I gonna say?
Michelle
There's
Yeoh.
one.
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh cannot sing. I'm so sorry,
bad.
Michelle Yeoh. I love you and everything, and love everything you do. Not a musical.
Not her best.
That's okay.
Not
okay.
Not her best.
Yeah, not her best. Not her best singing in this one, unfortunately.
She could act though. I wish we got more from her character, because she does play that, like, I guess, wizard spy professor very menacingly.
Do you think it was obvious that like she and
I had no idea.
Okay. I feel like this movie was obvious. I didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know any of this.
I knew that would happen.
I thought it was pretty obvious that her and Jeff Goldblum couldn't do magic.
I knew that Jeff Goldblum couldn't do magic just because we knew that.
Well, because you know that from. I guess I forgot everything about.
I didn't know about her.
I was like the whole time I'm like this chick can't do magic or something. I thought that was fairly obvious. I thought this
made me sad with the monkeys when she started hitting it. It made me really sad. I hate it.
And it made me sad when the little cub was getting like in the cage and sad.
Yeah,
I was like,
man,
get this boy out, free my boy. And then they did. Jonathan Bailey was good in this as well. I think.
Jonathan Bailey was good.
What else has he been in?
Is Jonathan Bailey the guy in that TikTok where it's like, where his fate? You're the one I want. I'll send it to you.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll find it.
I got zero clue what you're talking about.
I don't know if Tyler's there. He might not be. You're the one I want. Vine.
You're the one I need.
Vine.
This is Jonathan. This is Jonathan Bailey. I'm pretty sure. It's Vine. Not. But I'm pretty sure it is. Give me a sec, please. Hold
it. Is it or isn't it?
It's not. But it looks exactly like. I don't know if I can screen share.
I never had Vine. Wow, I missed out on that generation.
Never had Vine. I don't know if Tyler's here to approve. He is. This is Jonathan Bailey right here. You remember this TikToks?
No,
I remember that. I know that Vine, but it just doesn't.
Does that not look exactly
That's
like
Jonathan Bailey? No,
it's not. Again, this
I'll
is
be honest,
not Jonathan Bailey. I think
I don't
look
think
the
it
exact
looks like
same.
him. I don't think it looks like him.
That is not Jonathan Bailey.
Cam, why are you lying? That's obviously not Jonathan.
I said it wasn't. I said it was not. I said they look the exact same.
That does not look like Jonathan Bailey.
I'm gonna send y'all. They look the exact same.
They do not look like-
Yeah, that is not the
That's just a
same
white
dude,
guy
bro.
with a similar
That is
hat.
not the same guy.
Oh, I'm still sharing. Cool. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, this is Jonathan Bailey.
I don't know.
See, look,
He
at
was
it.
great.
They're the
He
same.
was great though.
Same
was
fucking
fun.
person.
I liked
man.
him.
The same person. All right.
Since we're on spoilers, another scene that I really like was the party scene where Glinda gave her the hat as like a this is gonna be funny, you know, someone wearing this hat that'll be funny.
Do you reckon that's in
And-
the player? Some people complaining about it. It's like a backstory for a hat. I quite
I
liked
have
it. though.
no
It's
idea.
cute.
I liked
It's
it.
like it's like the end of a superhero movie where they finally get their outfit. It's like the
Yeah.
end of
Don't
Penguin
remind
when
me
he
of
puts
that
on the
film.
top hat. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all it is. You
Dude,
got-
what did oh my god, the scene when she like got her broom, that reminded me of something that I
Harry Potter. Quidditch.
No.
Worth a try.
Dude, I think I'm thinking like Iron Man 3 at the end of Iron Man 3 where all the suits pull up and like Tony just like completely like
I
suits
was
up.
watching Iron Man 3 at work this week because it was on FX playing in our break room. I was just sat there and watched it for like 5 minutes, man.
Nice.
Just random.
Or
thing.
even when Elphaba put on the hat, I was like, oh shit, they did that in Oppenheimer. He put his hat on one scene as well.
I wish I took notes for this. I took notes for Gladiator because I was sitting in like the back corner, but this one I was in like the middle, like halfway down, so I didn't want people seeing my. Otherwise, I'd have more points to make. But I love Ariana Grande's hair flip every time. I was like,
Every time, dude, it's
so
hilarious.
good at that. I don't
Dude,
know. What
I
to
did
do.
not-
Yeah.
She was awesome.
I said this in my TikTok review and I got smacked up in the comments. I basically said, I was like, I didn't know Ariana Grande could do comedy this well. And
She was funny.
People were like, obviously, this dude has never seen Victorious.
Yeah,
And I was
Victoria-
I
like,
don't know what that is.
I mean, I've seen it, but I saw it like ages ago. It's an old. What was Victoria? Was Victorious on Disney?
Ariana
Channel or
Grande
Nickelodeon?
truly,
I
like,
released
my
in
first-
2010.
My first ever
Yeah.
childhood, actually, Selena Gomez in Wizards of Waverly Place.
Where's the
definitely
Wave
was,
Place
but
banged though? To be fair.
Ariana Grande was my like early childhood crush as well as Cat Valentine. Shout out Cat Valentine.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I
Absolutely
didn't know
incredible.
she could do the comedy that well. Even in like the beginning when she's like talking to Elphaba and Michelle Yeoh's character, trying to like get in with Michelle
Mhm.
Yeoh's character. I was like, this is so funny. Like she's funny.
Yeah, dude, she really is great in this. Man, she is not in just anything at all. Yeah.
Well, it is like a tailor-made role for her, realistically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I
So
think
many people are saying are
I think she's been cast for a long while.
Yeah,
hold on.
she
What am
has.
I thinking of right now?
She was in that Men in Black with Chris Hemsworth. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, was she?
Yeah.
People keep saying Wicked could have been so much better if this was Amanda Seyfried instead of Ariana Grande. I completely
What?
disagree. I so completely like Amanda Seyfried is obviously fantastic, and we know she could do movie musicals, but comparing her character in Mamma Mia to Glinda is insane.
I don't
Like
know.
I don't think anyone in the world pulls off like how do I describe it like with like being respectful, like that ditzy personality, I guess, that Glinda needs.
Yeah, I think she is like because she's almost not really, but not to that extent. But she's almost just playing Cat Valentine all over.
Yeah,
again.
kind
Just,
of.
like, her ditzy, like silly self, like who's
Yeah.
super
Hilarious,
cool,
privileged
upbeat,
self. Yeah.
privileged.
She's funny.
Exactly. Like she's like I said, I have no doubt she'll do other things after this. Like I think it's going to be one of those things. You're like, if she wins the Oscar for this, which I don't know if she will. I don't know what like the
I have a friend who's
Since
ready
the
to-
release of the movie, she did jump from 3 to 1 on Gold Derby.
She's.
hell yeah.
I have a friend who's like really big into like predictions. She's been like climbing apparently. Like,
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
She's
I
like
think
that.
maybe-
If
maybe she will.
if anyone from Amelia Perez wins over her, I'll freak out.
Shout out Selena, baby. I think I think she'll be in other things, and if she wins the Oscar, I think people are going to be watching her in theaters and being like, "Why? How'd she win an Oscar?" And it's because this role is like
just perfect.
It is right down her alley. They're like, "Do this, and you're going to crush it," and she crushed every moment of it. I think Cynthia Erivo does almost just as good of a job. I don't know.
Everyone kept asking, like, why do I think Ariana will get nominated and win, but not Cynthia? And it has nothing to do with Cynthia's performance, because I think she's just as good as Ariana. Lead actress category, so much stronger than supporting right now.
Yeah.
Like, you got Angelina Jolie, Mikey Madison. You have so many hard hitters, whereas, like, supporting actress, you have Ariana Grande, and then the cast of Emilia Perez.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think still Zendaya might be at the top of my list for Dune, just because I first off, I haven't seen enough, but second off,
supporting actresses, like, really,
I haven't seen enough of anyone like good. It's not, there's no like Divine Joyce Randolph this year who's just like,
mine's thingy from Nickel Boys, George.
Really?
I think she was amazing. I think
everyone in that movie. I mean, we're not talking about Nickel Boys. I just think everyone in that movie was so stale.
Performance-wise.
Yeah, I think everyone was just
crazy.
So I said this in my. Silly. I mean, I can't. Well, okay, what are we talking about? Nickel Boys now? But no, I said it in my Letterboxd review. I think the first person point of view just it didn't make any conversation sound organic, because you're basically asking an actor to act with just a camera, and there are not a lot of people that could do that, unfortunately. But we'll talk about Nickel Boys when it releases.
Yeah.
But let's bring Tyler back, and we'll move on to Gladiator. Seth, it was a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Me 4. Cam currently a 4.
Yeah, I'll throw that.
Maybe a 4.5.
It'll probably be a low 80s. It'll be above Deadpool and Wolverine.
No,
I was a big fan of this movie, man. It's a good film.
Ugly film.
All right.
Ugly film.
To the old Gladiator. Can't wait.
Actually, the new Gladiator come. It's the new.
Nice one. Good job, Seth. That was awesome. The new.
Thought we were about to divert from Glicked and go into like Nicked or something with Nickel Boy Wicked Talk infusing the end there. But Gladiator 2 time synopsis here. Let me just make sure my mic is correct. Because when I came back on, yes, my mic is correct. Okay. Gladiator 2. Prepare to be entertained. Years after witnessing the death of the revered hero Maximus at the hands of his uncle, Lucius is forced to enter the Colosseum after his home is conquered by the tyrannical emperors who now lead Rome with an iron fist. With rage in his heart and the future of the empire at stake, Lucius must look to his past and find strength and honor to return the glory of Rome to its people. Directed by Ridley Scott, the second in what seems to be maybe a trilogy, who knows? But let's get into this thing. Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Denzel Washington, Connie Nielsen returning. We got Joseph Quinn, Fred Hetchinger. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But I love that dude in this movie. We got like 2 Joaquin Phoenixes.
A silly little guy.
2 silly little guys this time around for Gladiator 2. But yeah, so we all 4 of us saw this one. Hopefully George is just taking a break and not getting sick or something. But we'll start with Cam and I both haven't logged it, so I guess we can't really go in like favorite to least favorite order because we don't really know where we're stacks up. So because of that, we're starting with Seth.
Cool. Gladiator 2. When did I watch this? I saw this. Oh, it came out a week earlier for us. So I saw it on the 15th. Gladiator 2 is an interesting one. I think it's another film that's kind of within the contentious form of Ridley's late stage career, similar to like Alien Covenant, similar to House of Gucci, similar to Napoleon, and probably similar to whatever he makes next. It's also, I think I said this in my review, it's very much in the realm of unneeded sequels, quote unquote, in that it's not really something people asked for, I guess. Maybe, a few people here and there, but it's not something we were calling for. I think it works. I think I was kind of just happy to be back in Ridley's Rome brutality-ridden sandbox and be within the Colosseum and see these kind of massive antics. They rebuilt like ancient Rome for this. They rebuilt the Colosseum. I think it's really, really cool. I think you've got these massive action set pieces that Ridley is known for that works in really, really well. And also his kind of late stage, more traditionalized now, like what he's known for now, like stupid comedy, as we saw in like Napoleon, as Tyler just alluded to. There's a couple of silly little guys in this that kind of have the same sort of antics and cadence to them. And the comedy definitely worked better for me in this. I think it was genuinely funny. I think when when you're back in this, there is a lot of follow-up sequel baggage to hang on to, and some really like weirdly placed flashbacks that I don't think worked as well as needed, and perhaps too many to a certain point. Similar to my complaints of Alien Romulus from earlier on this year, I think it kind of goes within that, in that it carries so much baggage towards from previous entries in the franchise, or previous entry in this case. But I still think Ridley manages to capture everything really, really well. I think technically it's genius. Like, it looks amazing. I think cast wise, Paul Mescal is a difficult one, because obviously the main thing that's come out of it from a lot of people is that he shouldn't, he was miscast per se. And it's a tough one, because I just don't think, we're going to compare him, whether subconsciously or not, compare him to Russell Crowe in the way of his dad, and compare him to his performance. And I just don't think Paul Mescal, as much as a great actor I think he is, and I think he's one of the best work today, I think he's amazing, I don't think he has the commanding presence. Like, there's a notable difference in this when you watch his... What?
I don't think he can yell. It's just that's a take here. I don't think he can yell.
No, I kind of agree. I think there's like a difference when it comes to like his monologues compared to like when you watch Russell Crowe's in the original Gladiator. There's a big like commanding difference in that. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it was miscast. I think he's good for the most, like really, really good. But in those scenes where you need that star, I don't know if he's action star. I don't know if he's there just yet. I don't know if he fits that. Denzel is the best thing about this film for me. I think he's just so funny, carefree, and intoxicating, as he kind of always is. And I think whatever script you're going to write for him works. I like Joseph Quinn as well a lot. I think he's a really, really good actor, and I'm actually keen to see more of him, especially after obviously earlier on this year with A Quiet Place Day One, which I thought was really, really good as well. But yeah, I just kind of really, really enjoyed returning to Rome. It's a very, very historically inaccurate period piece that Ridley's known for. But I really enjoyed that there. Yeah, exactly, good. But yeah, I liked it. 3.5 for me. I think it has moments of just screaming, remember Gladiator. Those classic sequel baggage Hollywood's used for that are too much sometimes. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I definitely really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, 3.5. Good film. Good film.
Yeah, I had a good time with Gladiator 2. It's similar to exactly what Seth was saying. I was happy to be back in this world, but I don't think it was anything super special. I think a lot of it, like you said, there's a lot of flashbacks and a lot of like, remember Gladiator. Here's a take, and I like both Gladiator and Gladiator 2, and I really like Avatar and Avatar 2. This is almost like Ridley Scott's Avatar 2, where it's like new story that's carrying on the story of the first, but kind of has to rehash a little bit of the beats because it's been so long, but you're also setting it up for like, it's like Avatar 2 is like, okay, it's been a while since Avatar 1, but we got 3, 4, and 5 coming. Gladiator 2 felt like, we got an idea here for Gladiator 3, but we got to catch you up to speed here. It's been 20 years. Let's get that in the bag, and then we're going to go right into Gladiator 3.
I think Avatar 2 does those rehashings better.
Oh, for sure, because the flashbacks in Gladiator 2 are like every time is like an eye roll moment. But and like I know, like I think Raiders tweeted out, they said like the opening shot of this movie is like the most genius shot of all time. Like it was fun, cute. Like
what was the opening shot? Remind me.
It's like him playing with the grains, whereas the opening shot of like Gladiator 1 was like the fully grown fields. Just like he's gonna like rebuild what was lost, and then cool. It works. But Paul Mescal, I like him a lot. He's fine in this. I don't think he's as bad as people say, but I also don't think he's anything like I need to defend from the rooftops, because I don't think he is that good in this. It's the difference between him and Russell Crowe giving speeches. I feel like Russell Crowe giving a speech, I was like, yeah, you're pumping up an army, a rebellion, whereas Paul Mescal's speeches was kind of like a football captain in high school, where it's like, yeah, we need to be pumped up, but like this is kind of embarrassing. You're taking it this seriously. This is like a JV football game at 8 a.m. Like I'm thinking about the Taco Bell I'm gonna eat after this game. You're acting like we're like, it's just like you don't take him seriously when he's giving up his pumping up speeches. But and this movie, I don't know if I felt a lot of passion from Ridley in this movie, to be honest. Like the set pieces that they built were super cool, but also like, I don't know, the monkeys and the sharks. Like there's just a lot of stuff in this movie that looks pretty ugly. Really, Denzel's fantastic in this, of course. Pedro Pascal in this is fine. He's kind of like a weird usage. Like he just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if the narrative flowed perfectly for me, because I think the first third of this movie, I was like, okay, this might actually be something I like more than Gladiator 1. I'm really digging this. This feels like a very fun movie. Second third of the movie, like the middle, just completely bogged down for me. Where I was like, oof, like you're losing me here a bit, Ridley. And the final third I thought was okay. It was solid. And ultimately I'm landing at like a 3.5 or so on this. It's probably like a 3-star movie that I'm going to give a bump to just because I really like this world and this atmosphere. And it was fun to be back. But I think we get Denzel's the best part. Like I mentioned at the top, I think Joseph Quinn and Fred Hetchinger like play the silly little freak that Joaquin Phoenix played in the first one really well, and I'm glad we got kind of 2 of them this time. And they're also just like such a perfect pair together. They're both kind of weird, little, silly, funny guys, but one clearly has his IQ is probably a little higher than the other, and they're just a fun combo. Like every time they're on the screen, really enjoyed them, and there was some very cool moments in this as well. But yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, felt like very similar to the first, and not necessarily a derogatory way, but a lot of it's kind of setting up for what I feel like I feel like the direction he wants to go for Gladiator 3, which has been rumored for a while now, is pretty clear what kind of comes next. So yeah, that was kind of my thoughts on it. I forgot I was going to start our review with all 4 of us putting our fist to the camera and we give our thumb down. But cool. Too bad we missed it. We'll go to George next. Cam, you're not a thumbs down. Stop lying to yourself. George.
Cam will give it a 3.5.
I think I'm a little higher on this than the 2 of you, just slightly. I had a really good time with this, which is surprising because everything you guys are saying is like things I agree with. Like I do think there's just a lot of unnecessary rehashings of the original Gladiator. I think there's a lot of, DiCaprio meme snap point at screen, like, oh, there's Gladiator 1 reference type of shit. But for some reason, it didn't bother me as much as I had anticipated because I just think I was so mesmerized by 2 things. One, just these massive set pieces. Every time we were in the Coliseum, I was giddy. I was like, this is sick. Like there are sharks in the Coliseum.
The rhino and shit.
Yeah,
right.
There's Paul Mescal going head to head with a rhino. Like this shit's cool. Even the entire opening battle sequence, I was like, this is sick. And then Paul Mescal, I'm much higher on him in this movie than it seems the 2 of you are.
I really like him.
I think he's great. I don't think there was any world in which I was going to look at Mescal's performance and say that's rivaling Russell Crowe's. I don't think that was ever going to happen. Russell Crowe puts on an all-time performance in the first Gladiator, and I think he just has more of a manly Roman Empire essence to him. But I think Paul was great. I really do. I think this movie is not as emotional or as sentimental as the original, but I think Paul is a good enough actor to convey emotion much more broadly than maybe Ridley had anticipated in this movie. And then even like, you guys are just ragging on his scenes where he's like, trying to hype up his crowd. I think they're great. I really do. I think he had enough, aggressive energy to him where I was like, damn, this is hype. Like he's getting me hype right now. Particularly the last time they enter the Coliseum when they're, getting ready to do their whole overthrowing Empire thing. That speech in particular was sick. I think the speech after he and Denzel go at it, I think that one was a little lackluster, not as, loud and aggressive as I would have liked it. But I think there are moments where Paul really just shines. We're all so accustomed to Paul being like the sad boy actor of our generation. So I just think it was cool that we got to see him in this massive role. And I really do think he delivered. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I really enjoyed my time. It was fun. It was a really fun experience. There were so many moments where I was just like, fuck yeah, like that's sick. Like that's such a stupid thing to do in this movie, but it's sick. Sharks, rhinos, fucking monkeys. It's all very cool to me. I don't think the politics of it all kind of like levels the impact that the original movie had. But I do respect Ridley for kind of bringing us back to Rome in this just bombastic, awesome way, and just making the Colosseum just feel so much bigger than it did in the original movie. But those are my thoughts. I landed on a 4. I'll be curious to rewatch. I'm sure I'll go this week sometime with my dad because I know he wants to watch it. So I'll be curious to see how this holds up on rewatch.
Yeah, I'll kick it over to Cam. But two things you brought up that I want to quickly say before I forget is one, I think Paul Mescal was good, except for I just think the speeches specifically, like what didn't work for me. But I think like everything like he was doing as a character, that was great. But the big thing that you mentioned that I agree with the politics wise, Denzel Washington, and I kept comparing to like Game of Thrones in my mind. Denzel Washington makes the amount of plays he makes, the amount of moves he makes is like 2 or 3 seasons of Game of Thrones.
I said, as me and Anna left, I said that is Littlefinger.
Yeah, but it's like
I made that
I was just I need like a series of Denzel because
just him.
He goes,
throughout.
I mean, that's not even spoiling anything, but he makes like 70 chess piece moves in like a 25-minute period. It's like this is just at some point, it's like either lean fully into this or just like give me like a gladiator beating up.
Just give me him for a limited season.
Because that the whole thing about the third of this movie that I just felt the middle third just got so bogged down for me, where I was like, so much is happening and just like a crazy amount of time. Denzel just a masterful player. But Cam, kick it over to you.
Yeah,
are you actually thumbs down?
No, I gave it a 56 out of 100. So
that's kind of a thumbs down.
Yeah, that's 1 point above a 2.5. But I gave it the 3 because I had a fun enough time with it. Like it's not inherently awful. It's not. It's the same exact thing, just worse. To be honest, it's the same exact movie, just worse in my opinion.
I said that when me and Anna.
Yeah, and I really like. I always had Gladiator at 5-star, but I haven't watched it in a while, so I watched it again. Actually watched it after I saw Gladiator 2 for some reason. And yeah, I was like, no, this is way better. I put this in my review. I'm trying to say it in the least confusing way possible, but I'm sure it'll be confusing. I think Paul Mescal can do action. I don't think that's the reason he was miscast. I think he was miscast in this because what I said it earlier, he can't yell. Every time he yells or screams at someone, I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. He just looks like a puppy, I think. And yeah, his speeches were just odd. He doesn't have the Russell Crowe aura to him. I don't think he's miscast because of the action. I think he's miscast because of this role specifically. So like, I don't want to say like he's a sad boy actor. I don't think that's it. I think he can do this. This role, I don't think he did very well. Also, like I'm sure I've liked a legacy sequel that does this exact thing. I don't like a legacy sequel that just immediately like is like, oh, the first movie, nothing actually happened. Didn't work. This whole standing up to Rome and starting a new plan, it didn't work. This movie immediately contradicts like everything that Maximus really has stood up for at the end of Gladiator. Like just is like, nah, that didn't actually work. But this time it's going to work because his son's going to do the exact same thing. So I thought that was pretty stupid. Again, I'm sure there's a legacy sequel out there that I like that does the exact same thing. Like, Force Awakens basically is like, remember Star Wars when they stood up to the Empire? Empire's back, baby. It's just that's my like biggest frustration with like legacy.
They did that. This is kind of a weird comparison. They did that in Infinity War post Ragnarok. All of Ragnarok was like, house it's a people, it's not a place. Yeah. Beginning of Infinity War, it's like everything we did in Ragnarok, fuck that. Thanos just completely shit on all of Asgard as Guardians.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're like invincible.
Yeah.
I mean, like Thor still has his power. Thor used to like think he got his power from Asgard, but like,
yeah,
Asgard's
there's
not
more of like you set up this whole.
I see what you're saying.
I may be stretching. I'm
fully with you there. And then some of the action set pieces are fun. I think the action's good. It's not by any means a bad movie. Like the sharks swimming around in the water in the Coliseum. That's fun stuff. Like that's cool. But just I don't know. And also, we'll talk this when I get into spoilers. I took a couple notes, and just some of the character arcs like just didn't work for me a ton. Denzel was good. The twins were good. I don't think either of them are Joaquin Phoenix good. I think they're good additions to this universe, but I don't think either of them are Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, that's just my general thoughts on it. Like I was pretty disappointed with this one because I love the first so much. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed with this one, unfortunately.
So 2.5 from you, 4 from George.
It's a 3 for me. I gave it the benefit of the bounce.
And then 3.5 from Seth myself, right? Let's get into spoilers. Definitely a lot we want to chat about here. So throw that on. First thing I want to ask y'all: did we know that Paul Mescal was the son?
Yes.
Entering this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, we knew. Yeah.
That's what. So why did they spend like? I feel like they made it such like a grand reveal of like when they like all the pieces came together. It's like, oh, it's the son. Like I feel like they like spent so much time.
I guess it's more for his character and kind of the different upbringing.
The characters in the movie don't know, but I think just us in general,
it was revealed as a plot point like when it was announced. But I think
that's what I thought. But
it also wasn't like a. I think it's fine because it wasn't like a last minute like big reveal. It was like a third into the movie. Right. I think
it was like before Paul Mescal had a different upbringing than his dad, and before kind of the inevitable big blowout finale, he learns that. Maximum before the final lights kicks off, so it kind of makes sense. But no, that was one of the first things that was announced. I think.
I random point on Paul Mescal. I don't know his. I haven't seen him in much other than After Sun. Is he doing an accent in this? Because if he was, I loved it.
It's not how he normally speaks.
Irish.
So.
Okay, that's not how he normally speaks. Okay, cool. I've never seen I've genuinely. Never
seen his interviews or anything?
No.
He's all over the place, everywhere.
I like Paul Mescal. I've only seen After Sun. I don't watch any interviews of him.
People are gonna get.
I loved his accent in this thing, man.
People are gonna get on you, Cam, about his name. By the way,
is it not Mescal?
No, it's Mescal. I had these comments like a year ago, and I had to change it because people kept going on me about it.
It's not. I just think of the tequila. That's all I was going on. I think they're spelled the exact same. So.
Terrible.
I loved his accent though, man. It was so cool. Every time he spoke in just a talking manner, I loved it. But when he was yelling, it was like
because he's tough, bro. The odds are always against me.
Yeah, see that.
He looked the part.
I think do it.
I think so. Riley said that she thought that both Paul Mescal and she said Paul Mescal looks too modern to be in Gladiator. So I don't know. I guess she disagreed. But
bro, his head looks like those ancient Roman busts, like identically.
I don't know, man. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, no, I think he looked the part.
Oh man, he looked. Yeah, him and Pedro just have like that like ancient Rome look.
Pedro for sure.
I don't know how to describe it.
He has a look. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I wish they used it more.
I forgot who said Pedro's role was weird, but I thought they had too many twists in this. They wanted every character to be not every character. It's just Pedro and it's just Denzel. But they wanted both of those characters to not be who you thought they were. And I was like, I don't know. It's kind of bad in my opinion, but I like Pedro in basically everything. So
I think you had betting odds. Like you had to tell someone the plot of 2 movies. Like, okay, Paul Mescal's in 2 movies. One, he's a gladiator where he's got to fight to the death multiple times. He's facing off against sharks, rhinos. All of Rome is really against him. Or he's in a movie where he's taken his daughter on a vacation to Turkey. Which one will he not survive? And the answer may shock you which one he comes out of not living through. But spoiler, he does make it through Gladiator 2, which I think kind of what I was after mentioning in the non-spoiler section of setting up Gladiator 3. Like clearly, like Cam said, like Maximus went through all that in Gladiator 1, didn't really change much. But now Lucius is going to carry that on and finish what his father started here. And I think Gladiator 3 will be kind of the clash of trying to actually overthrow, the Roman Empire and things. And I hope it's better than, part of me worries it's going to be like the 300 part 2. Like it's just like compared to 300.
It's a terrible film.
Yeah.
Part 2, George. Part 2.
300 part 2 is terrible.
No. I know it's terrible. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying don't do that. Like don't compare that to
Ridley Scott might be washed, so it's worth
it.
I'll tell you, Ridley Scott's a good director. I don't think he's a great director right now, but I think he's a good director.
I think he needs to start working with better scripts. That's the issue. But he's he's one of the best directors in the game for sure. Just solid directors, absolutely.
But I don't think personally I've seen anything great out of him.
Alien Covenant.
but that's 10 years ago.
The last duel was very.
The 10 years? No, it was 2018, wasn't it, or 2017 maybe?
No,
That was
Alien
2014.
Covenant was like 2014, dude.
It was 2017 actually. So fuck you
Oh.
both.
That being
Was it?
10 years ago is
7
insane.
years ago.
I still
Yeah,
love it.
7 years.
That's
7
gross,
years.
man.
Prometheus was 2012, I think.
Mhm.
That was like 12 years ago. That was
That's
wild.
so disgusting.
The last
Yeah,
duel was good. Just
Yeah,
sidetrack.
last duel was good.
We'll start with the opening. It starts with Paul Mescal and his homeland and the big battle. What do we think of that opening?
My only note on this is they're invading. Actually, I have 2 notes on this. They're invading Paul Mescal's home. Sorry, that's going to be hard. They're invading Paul Mescal's home, and their bridge won't go down. I love that Pedro, only person in this entire boat that thought cut the rope and just let it go. They're all trying to push.
That's why he's the general,
that's
man.
why he's the leader.
Decisions
Everyone
like
else,
these.
dumb idiot, can't cut the rope. As soon as he did that, I almost started laughing, man. And then also, actually, oh man, I only took notes for like the first 10 minutes of this movie. Really. As soon as Paul Mescal's love interest dies or wife dies, someone let out the biggest "oh shit," and I was like, "Come on, man!" And then
I had zero emotional investment or care into that happening.
My next note is in the first 20 minutes they managed to kill off two characters I have zero care for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kill off his wife and then they kill off like the person who's nice to him and or his like old master or something. I can't remember exactly what the ranks are. Old general maybe. And I was just like, yeah, these people are.
I wish they held off on killing the wife until like the first Coliseum battle. Like, give us another like 20 minutes with her and Paul together.
Dude,
she died.
Flashbacks of her like death motivating him. I'm like, I just don't feel the stakes.
In Gladiator, they first off they run his son over with a horse, which is insane. You see that son get bopped by a horse, which is hilarious to watch. But then they hang them both, man, which is just like, that's like, I don't know, that's some emotional shit. You see his son and his wife get hung, and this he just kind of gets shot with an arrow and then falls.
Do you think the wife? I don't really. So the woman that was cut out obviously came out this week mainly. So she was meant to play Paul Mescal's love interest, and I think I read that really someone decided that like a love interest wasn't needed and it would contrive a story or something. Production team, like, do you think that would have added something, or do you think that would have actually they made the right decision with that? Because it's always a difficult one when you're cutting out a full character, you know.
I don't know. Somehow I forgot. Because that was obviously such a massive discussion leading up to the film. Then, but I sat and watched the film, and that all left my brain that like our scenes were cut. And I thought I saw on Twitter a couple people saying that not all of her scenes were cut. But now that I'm thinking back, I don't remember seeing her once.
She's in the background of she's like sitting next to, I believe it's Denzel when he's first watching Paul Mescal fight.
Oh, you might be right.
I think she's.
What was her character? So who was she supposed to be?
She was supposed to be a love interest for Lucius.
Oh, okay.
But they decided production that like a love interest wasn't needed for him, so they kind of got rid of her. Yeah. But it's like, it's tough, man. Like, cause it's a full character, but did he really need a love interest? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, obviously, like her being cut sucks and annoying, but I already feel like there's so many characters in the movie where I'm like, the amount they're involved in their part in the story is like a weird amount. That I'm like, honestly, I feel like it would have been even more muddy if you had a love interest. But
yeah.
Sucks that she was cut, but I don't really know how it would have made the movie better, unfortunately.
Have you guys seen the Fred Hetchinger? Have you guys seen The Woman in the Window?
No.
One of the worst movies ever.
It's not good.
But the entire goddamn movie, I'm thinking, where have I seen this dude from? And it's The Woman in the Window, because he's playing this exact character, this weird like.
It's not another Amy Adams stinker from this decade.
It is an Amy Adams stinker.
It's really, really bad.
But just he's in this, and he's this weirdo character like he's playing in this movie, but because he's almost like he's acting drunk the entire time in that movie as well. But yeah, Fred Hetchinger, not my favorite actor, because now every time I see him, I'm going to think of that damn movie. But apparently he's in Craven. Yuck.
But after Paul Mescal's homeland gets invaded, they take prisoners, and then he just goes through the ropes of, first he fights like a bodyguard, and then he fights someone else's owned fighter, and then he fights like it's just he keeps. Then it's just get an hour of him climbing the ranks of fighting and continually impressing more people by the the victories he's getting, and clearly showing he's got the chops to take on anyone, and catching more and more attention throughout Rome. And then we kind of get into this just hour of Connie Nielsen, Denzel Washington, like all this, like these whispers, and these is when you start to realize like the hour end where it's like, oh, that's the son, and Connie Nielsen has all these conflicting emotions on what she wants to do, and Denzel just starts to be a master political gamesman and just makes a ton of different moves, just little fingers the crap out of this movie.
This movie has no, like, my name is Maximus Aurelius Cornelius, whatever the fuck his name is, moment. Like, sorry.
Dude.
Decimus. Sorry, but sorry, I've seen it all on Twitter this week of like, this is when Gladiator like locks in or whatever. You know, the original is when he takes off his helmet and he's like, I'm Maximus, I'm your brother. And it's like, oh, this movie has no moment of that. And I know you're not trying to make the exact moment or the exact movie, but you already have. So you might as well give us that a great moment of that sort of thing, you know? Like, he has a moment where he starts like giving that speech of the gates of hell have opened. Or whatever it is.
That was actually really good.
Yeah,
I need you to go. When I watched this back ago, that was really good.
Okay,
that was really good.
This movie doesn't have that kind of moment, in my opinion, and so like it never really made me like, you know, it never made me do the sit up meme, like where you lock in.
I think when he was reading that poetry, they kind of wanted it to be that, because then the rest of the movie, like,
I think they
poet,
did.
the ord, and I'm like, it didn't lock in for me like that.
You know what that moment is in this movie? Actually, I take it all back. It's when Joseph Quinn says, "Spoken." Like that.
Dude, I love Joseph Quinn in this, man.
I really like Joseph.
The way he's gone from Stranger Things, like memeable character, to like the career he's taken after. Like, shout out! He's killing it.
He's going to get asked to say "Chrissy, wake up" on the Fantastic Four carpet. I can't wait. Can you say "Chrissy, wake up" for me?
Yeah, that is just so like, okay. Now talking about some of the games. So we have first Paul Mescal versus Rhino, where you know it's fair if you're a gladiator, you play dirty. He uses the classic wrestler move, the throw the sand in the eyes. You know, maybe there's an asterisk next to that win. He's not playing completely fair. And then you get the big naval battle with the sharks, which is just an all-time, like, to go to that, if you're like a spectator, multiple hundreds of pounds or whatever the currency was to sit in the upper ranks, free admission for people on the bottom floor. Because I feel like the amount of stray arrows that you would be catching when they're just firing just hundreds at each other. I'm like, who would want to be front row seat for this? I guess that maybe that's part of like the electricity of it. Like, you might die, but I was just thinking that whole scene, like the amount of crossfire. Like, if you're sitting in the bottom row,
splash zone, and it's
splash zone, but it's death.
Yeah,
because there's just hundreds of arrows. And then, I mean, speaking of arrows, and we're just kind of jumping all over the place. When they kill Pedro Pascal,
so many arrows fly at him.
I thought Rome would never be conquered if all the marks were that.
I thought they were trying to kill. I thought they were trying to kill.
Paul.
As well.
I thought they were just going to kill both of them because
I thought they were, and then they all hit. Not all of them.
It was a bit overkill. How many arrows went in?
Yeah, the arrows hit Pedro from every angle, yet not one hit Paul.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Rome should never be conquered if they got bodies like that in their army.
They shot 5 for 100, but those 5, or those 95, just were like circling Paul Mescal.
And what's funny too is it was like, I mean, obviously we're being stupid and like we know it's because like for dramatic effect and whatever, but it was just so funny. Like 2 of them hit him and he like clearly is like dead, and then just like, so it's like 2 hit him and there's like a 5-second pause and then just like hundreds more. So it's like the rest of these guys like, shit, I'm gonna be chewed out by my boss if I don't get an arrow in this guy. These other 2 are the overachievers, already got him in. I gotta start firing. But yeah, that was a crazy scene. I mean, cool scene, honestly. Like I enjoyed it for what it was, but just
I get it.
But Pedro Pascal's character is the big like question mark for me, because like Cam said, he's not what you think he is. You know, the whole movie, Paul Mescal wants to kill him because he, you know, killed his wife, or I don't know. Do we even know if she's whoever she is to him?
Whatever.
It is the wife. I'm pretty sure. I think they say that, but he didn't even kill her. He just ordered it. So
joint enterprise.
Like he didn't even kill her.
But Paul Mescal is just like red with rage, and that's his sole objective. And then you kind of realize like, oh, he's big homies with Maximus, big homies with your mother, and he's here to help you. And then they kind of
great vibes. Sorry, not Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal. Great vibes in this thing, I think.
But yeah, and then it's kind of just them on the gladiator field together, fighting the classic, fighting while realizing they're not like actually shouldn't be fighting. Just weird. Like, I don't know. It just didn't work for me how it went. I don't know.
I think
Pascal's character was just off to me.
Definitely off. I think Pedro Pascal himself, I think you could put him in any era, in any history, time, and he'd work. I think he could do it all, man. He's
timeless.
Timeless. He's timeless.
Mm-hmm.
But did you guys like when they started playing Not Like Us during the I thought that was a little
joke. Ironically would have given it a 4-star instead of a 3.
Yeah, that would have been a 5-star movie.
Would have pumped up, yeah.
Like if it starts a Not Like Us training montage when he's the only one rowing the boat for like hours, it's just like a grind train, like a Creed 2 type training montage of him rowing the boat, which I still don't know what they were trying to achieve there, but just make him row.
Yeah,
People, it's just like a working.
They didn't like that he was cocky as fuck. He knew
how
he was
working out.
Wasn't that trainer? Didn't he want them to win? Because he's like that was Denzel's like trainer's team, right? So he wants to win, right, to get the money. Or no?
I didn't catch that.
Because why would you work your team like a dog?
No, because I
don't think that's his team. I think that's just his job to train the gladiators. I don't
think
that
but he's training
who lives and dies.
No, it's a mentality exercise, isn't it? It's to push him to his absolute limits so he's not afraid of it. That's like the whole thing. Like, it's a mentality exercise. You know what I think?
I would fold so fast in ancient Rome.
No, it's punishment, but like he's doing it for a cause, I imagine. Yeah, it's just about mentality, pushing to the limit, I guess.
I texted you guys jumping way in the head when Paul kills that trainer and says wood or steel a point is a point. That line
that was sick.
Made me die laughing, man, because I was like, yeah, I mean, like he's inherently not wrong here.
That was a sick line. I remember immediately hearing that. I turned to my right and looked at Alex, and we were both like, ugh, that was
such a goofy line, man.
No, that was a sick line. That was because he screams it too. He doesn't just say it. He's like, wood or steel, a point is a point.
Yeah. It's so funny, man.
But before we get into like so Pedro Pascal's now dead. Now what happens next? Let's go into a little more about Denzel being the political mastermind. So when we get to that final gladiator moment, at this point, clearly Denzel's fully pushing for full power. He does the mafia coded execution of Fred Hetchinger's character with the ice pick type thing in the brain.
That was crazy.
That was mental.
That was crazy.
And just starts his plot to just basically kill everyone in power and just take it. And I mean, the way he commands respect in Rome and the way he's Denzel Washington in order, if he would have pulled that off, I think he would have been able to seize power of Rome. But crazy, just like so much happened in that final just gladiator moment where it was like Mescal and Pascal on the floor, Denzel just murking people up top, and then you have, once Pascal dies, Paul Mescal tries to start the uprising. He's like saying, like, this is how you treat your, generals and war heroes. And then the audience starts to be like, get us a little rowdy. And then we're just setting up the uprising for Gladiator 3 here.
And then the guards of the Colosseum start putting arrows in spectators' throats.
That was crazy when all the guards just like turn around to their face in the crowd, like, damn, what do you even do?
Like, what they think was going to happen, though, they have bow and arrows and they're 100-to-1 odds. Like, they'll get one, but the 20 other people right next to you will push you over the edge. Yeah. Stupid. I like Fred Hetchinger's character electing the monkey as his first chair or whatever. That just good vibes. Electing the monkey, just being, and that's a classic like. That's a classic writing of like, hey, this guy's crazy because he's willing to put a monkey in charge. And it's like, yeah, he is. Hell yeah. Ridley Scott, I'm with you, man.
I still can't state enough how much I really, really freaking like Joseph Quinn and Fred Hetchinger in this. Like, it's a role where you can be so annoying so easily, but they pull it off so well. And like,
they were
Fred
so
Hetchinger is an all-time actor. I mean, I've only seen him in this. Maybe I've seen him on other random stuff, but all-time dude who just looks. He can make a face that looks like zero thoughts are in that brain. And like his crown's always like kind of like off.
Watch the woman in the window.
Hilarious.
Man. Okay. Same exact thing. And it's
because I see like stills on Twitter too of the movie, and it's just like. Joseph Quinn clearly has like a good IQ, and then Fred Hetchinger is just like his crown's crooked. His mouth is a little agape. He just looks like a complete buffoon, and he's perfect.
Real quickly, someone just commented on my Gladiator II review saying, "Bro missed the point of the movie." I assume
that's what I'm saying.
I assume that was my comment to my like. I don't like how they just completely redid Gladiator. I think you missed the point of Gladiator because like it's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing. You just
I mean, a lot of it, even a lot of like how, because like I rewatched Gladiator recently too, so like they're both fresh in my brain as well. It's a lot of how they discuss Rome too is a lot of rehashes. Like, hey, we get the point you're trying to say. Like, you're an emperor taking power away from the Senate. Emperor taking power away from the Senate. We need to restore back to the Senate.
I don't think I missed the point of the movie. I think the point of the movie has been done in the same franchise. It's just goofy. And I get it.
It is kind of a bummer once you start Gladiator 2 and just see like everything Maximus did. It's like you didn't really move the needle much, unfortunately.
But he didn't do shit.
Because I mean, there is like a 20-year time jump.
Has gone corrupt. I don't know.
Yeah, like so in this 20 years, literally nothing changed at all.
It's 20 years.
Maximus, man,
it's just frustrating.
Didn't fire up the people enough with your speech, I guess. No. So maybe Paul Mescal is superior. He's Maximus. Aurelius Cornelius, as Cam would say, didn't get the crowd moving.
Goofy name. You got too many names at that point. Just have one. Have the one, Maximus. That's all you need.
A lot of Roman Empire stuff this year, though, with Megalopolis, with Gladiator 2, with the Count of Monte Cristo, which will be our Patreon review this upcoming week. And Napoleon at the back end.
Do you guys ever think about the Roman Empire? Like, do you actually think about it?
I asked Riley like that last night. I was like, "How often do you think about it?" She's like, "Probably."
Do you actually think about it?
4 times a year, probably.
No one thinks about the Roman Empire. That's the dumbest trend that
depends on how. Depends on what the definition of.
I like history though. I think about all periods. I read about this shit a lot. I like it. You know,
that's fine. It's cool. I've never thought of the Roman Empire once.
Never
really
shoot them with a gun.
I love that.
Depends on what constitutes as like thinking, because like. If I'm watching like USC football and they have the Trojan mascot come out riding the horse with the Spartan like maybe I'm like, oh yeah, it's the Spartans, Romans, okay. But
did you guys see my tweet about my viewing experience at the end? Maybe not, doesn't matter. So I tweeted like genuinely this happened after Paul Mescal fights Denzel at the very end and beats him. 2 couples sitting next to me stood up, started packing up, and walked out of the theater. And I tweeted it. It was like they were at a sporting event and their team just got blown out on the road and they were trying to beat the traffic. Like before Paul Mescal was done with his speech, like he was in the middle of the speech and they're like, I know what happened. Like he beat the bad guy. We're gone. We're going to go beat traffic. I'm like, what is going on here? I couldn't get it out of my mind, man. It genuinely like was like they were getting like, but they were Denzel fans and they were there just specifically for him.
That's hilarious. That's such a funny comparison. It's like watching Star Wars, like they blow up the Death Star and you just pack up and leave. You're like, my team lost. No point in staying.
Had 1,000 to 1 odds to lose, and they put all of their money on Denzel to win, and somehow they're like, I gotta go. It was the most jarring, like hilarious thing. They packed up like they were trying to beat traffic, and I'm like, we're at a movie theater. There's no traffic.
It's funny if there's just like the long distance, like second or third cousin of like Denzel or Pedro Pascal or whatever, and there's like, my guy's out of it. No point supporting any longer.
I'm gone. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on Gladiator 2?
Not really.
Are you excited for Gladiator 3? Does this get you amped?
I mean, yeah, but like I'll probably enjoy it. Realistically, I'll probably be happy to be back. But then I also think it'll continue along the same lines.
I think they have potential to make Gladiator 3 what I would have wanted to see in Gladiator 2.
Yeah, they can't.
like the overthrow.
We're back with Lucius's son.
Yeah. What if Lucius's son, Lucius has died, and now the Senate doesn't have any power, and Lucius's son has to pretend to be a nobody.
It's an ongoing
fight
thing.
his way up the ranks, man.
Oh,
yeah. We'll see. But I mean, you know how Gladiator 2 is slop. The fact that this movie ends with like the operatic.
Oh my god,
the
they love the field. Is that
the field? Yeah,
sorry,
that's how you know it's slop. The grain field with that like operatic like score, like the.
I think that's Ridley Scott's favorite.
Okay, hell yeah, I'm in.
I think that's Ridley Scott's favorite shot he's ever put in a movie. Is the damn field touching.
It's a good shot.
It's a great shot. Don't get me wrong. And in the first movie, it's fantastic. An amazing ending. In this, he was like, well, it doesn't connect, but let's do it again. Let's run that shit back, yo. Like it is, man. He loves that shot.
He loves grain. Big grain guy.
Yeah, huge guy.
But that does it for our Glicked reviews. Hope you enjoyed those. We'll get into trailers and movie news. Q&A, I decided we're going to push to next week because I was going to do a little bit of Q&A this week, a little bit Q&A next week. But now I'm thinking about like Moana 2 and like Arcane. Like it's not going to be that packed next week. So we'll do a lot of Q&A next week. So I think people always like to see that. So
just while we're on Glicked a little bit, it looks like Wicked made 164 million worldwide. It's the biggest opening for a musical adaptation ever. So making decent money. And I think it deserves that, especially like with the Gladiator, double feature. And both of these movies are making good money. I think it's just this was a movies are back weekend for me because I went to both the screenings or like late night screenings and they were both packed. And I was just happy.
Gladiator do like terrible, to be honest.
Gladiator.
Yeah, but it's hard to directly compare because Gladiator 2 came out first. And I think Gladiator 2 already had like $100 million of international money before Wicked even came out. But I mean, Wicked's going to pass it, obviously.
But I thought Gladiator do like,
I didn't think, I agree. I didn't think it would be.
They're both around the 160 million. But Gladiator 2 technically has a weekend on them.
Right, exactly. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see where they stack up when all is said and done with how it compares like Barbenheimer because Oppenheimer's legs were insane. And I don't expect Gladiator 2 to have those legs. Whereas Wicked, I do expect to have Barbie legs.
You think this is the best or biggest double feature since Barbenheimer? Everyone's trying to make a double feature. I think this is the only one that's actually like
best. It's the
how
biggest.
Many is that been?
It has to be the biggest.
Probably.
Yeah, it's the biggest by far. Sure.
Everyone's trying to make like Saw Patrol, right? Like where no one actually is going to see
Saw Patrol.
This is the only legitimate one since Barbenheimer.
This is the only thing that comes close to Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
Saw Patrol.
Well, I don't think
it just works perfectly too. Like they're both very thematically different. That go for very different.
These are thematically different too. I think like these work as like that same.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why it's a perfect comparison because they're both fit that same bill. One's more the manly movie. One's more like musical. But like also at the same time, both groups can enjoy each other. Like it works perfectly. This is
I don't think they'll ever recapture the spark of Barbenheimer. Obviously, and I think people will try to forever. I think this does a good job at like it wasn't manufactured by any means, but this does a good job. Like Glicked, not as good of a name as Barbenheimer. But I really don't think we'll ever get there. I think this is as close as we ever get, though.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why it did somewhat work, too, is because I feel like since Barbenheimer 2 now, I feel like we have had weekends where people tried to, like, falsely manufacture hype for a double feature that didn't work. Whereas, like, I don't know, Gladiator, Wicked just kind of naturally worked. People eventually started the Glicked train, but it worked. Let's get on trailers, movie news. So we got a ton this week. So first up, new trailer for Helena Ryan's Baby Girl, an erotic thriller starring Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson in theaters December 25th. And our Christmas slate of that time of year for movies is packed. We got a Complete Unknown,
so many
Baby
movies
Girl,
coming
we got
out
Nosferatu. I'm forgetting one, Brutalist. That's Walsh and Gromit. Yep, that one's streaming at least. The theaters won't be packed, but Baby Girl, I think looks great. I'm excited. I love Harris Dickinson, and Nicole Kidman is one of those actresses that just nothing really needs to be said.
It's so good.
All time great. So
good. They're both just so good. Yeah.
I don't see how this is gonna be bad. Very excited for it. Anyone else have any thoughts on Baby Girl?
No, it looks amazing. Very excited.
And then the big controversial trailer, the first trailer for the live action How to Train Your Dragon remake has been released in theaters on June 13th.
Hot take. I think Baby Girl is going to be basically just don't worry, darling. Going to try to be sexy. It's not going to be good. That's my take.
Yeah, but this is Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson.
What's Nicole Kidman been in recently?
The North.
We don't talk about recently. She's
okay,
been
Nicole Kidman's one of the goats. Like she's like all time.
I'm not arguing. I think all she's
Harris Dickinson.
She was in a family affair.
Her
Blitz
best
star
role
Harris
in
Dickinson.
Harris Dickinson's so good.
AMC, We Come to a Place role. That's her best role in the last 5. Not
Cam,
bad.
What do you think of the How to Train Your Dragon trailer, Cameron?
The trailer looks better than the stills. I don't know. I don't know. I like How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know. They can't keep getting away with this. I can't keep defending your live action remakes. There's no, you don't need it, right? You don't, they said it's not. We'll see when it comes. The director
it's the same
said
people making it, so that gives me a little hope that like it was at least the same people.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I get it. Tyler is anti-animation.
I haven't seen any of the How to Train Your Dragons.
No.
That's so crazy.
You should watch How to Train Your Dragons.
There are people
so crazy.
There are people that are anti-animation. It's for kids. I get that. But you can do so much more with animation. Like you truly
I don't
so much. The dragons in that thing, there's like a green and yellow two-headed dragon, a like
they
purple,
look sick.
red fire dragon. Like they're all just colorful. And then the big bad dragon is gray.
Why?
What are you going to do when they're all gray?
Why are we allowing our kids to grow up and they say, I want to watch House Dragon? And then they say, like, we say that, and then they say, which one? You know what I mean? This is the issue. Like, we're devaluing the animated material, which is so great in the first place, to make something which is exactly the same. And that's not I don't think it looks terrible by any means. I think there's been much like worse looking ones for sure.
Even if it's not a shot for shot remake, it's not going to be different. Like it's not going to be a different movie. It's going to have. It's going to be like Aladdin is pretty damn good. Not a shot for shot remake. They add a couple scenes, but it's still the same thing. And I like the Aladdin remake, especially like I think just on sidetrack, Will Smith so good in that. But it's just I don't know, guys. I don't know. I can't keep defending him. I like the Lion King remake just because I think the lions look good, but that's all. It's a technical achievement.
You sloppy.
It's a technical achievement that I can't doubt. It's a great technical achievement.
I think that's one of the worst ones coming.
It's a great technical achievement, but it's a technical achievement. I can't doubt it.
So is fucking Polar Express. Like I don't
it's the same. I give it the same score.
Polar Express is absolutely. Robert Zemeckis is a genius when it comes to advanced technology. It's a shame his films aren't good.
I give the Lion King the same benefit of the doubt as I give Avatar. They're technical achievements.
Okay, let's.
James Cameron, yeah, he's a technical achievement guy. I'll give you that. If you or at least you give him that. But yeah, well. I don't know. And even like the thing, like if you do say like, you know, the classic, like, oh, animations for kids thing is like, what is this? How to Train Your Dragon live action? Not
for kids. Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
R-rated version.
But still, like, I think it's a baller move by the director and creators just to be like, yeah, the studio was saying that they were going to make a live action version. Like, well, if you're making it, we're the ones that are going to do it. You're not going to let some other director do this.
Yeah, that's good. But what, like, I don't know. Why would I rather take Bailey to see this? A movie. Mm-hmm. Bailey won't appreciate this kind of movie until he's 8, 9, maybe. That's good. Yeah, there you go. Animation, you can pop him in front of a damn screen now. He'll just be engulfed in the colors, right? So, like, I don't know. If you're making a movie for an 8 or 9-year-old versus a 5 or 6-year-old, are you really making anything different? I don't know. Yeah. And also, they're just play the hits with the theme, and you'll have it. You'll be fine. Just play the hits. Just do it. Who cares?
I mean, yeah, kids are meant for slop. Like Seth, one day his kids are going to be on the fruit salad cinematic universe. The wild strawberries, taste of cherry, grapes of wrath.
Get my kids on board.
The fruit salad slop verse of cinematic.
That was a really good point.
I'm trying to think of more fruits. I think that's all I got. I think I got the 3. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Cherry starring Tom Holland.
You ruined it.
Yeah.
We got another trailer for the Minecraft movie and a ton of first looks as well. Cam, you said the people were going crazy for the Wicked screening for the.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. Minecraft. If you're excited for the Minecraft movie, you gotta rethink life.
Is this a real movie?
It looks so bad, man.
No, it's not a real film.
Genuine question. As I'm watching this trailer, What? Sorry, I'm trying to think.
Let me get his words.
Can't wait to hear this question.
What do you do on this movie set? There's no way you're taking a second take. There's no way you're saying, no, that's not good enough. Faster and better. Like, there's no way. Jack Black walking into studio, saying a word or a line, and they're saying, nailed it, bud. Let's get your $4 million and get out of here.
What is this? What is the movie going to be about?
It's about like four people who like enter the realm.
It's like Jumanji is like the angle they're going.
Yeah,
they enter a video game universe.
But like, is there conflict? Isn't the whole point of Minecraft just to build shit? Like, is there a bad guy?
Creative mode?
In every mode is to build shit. You want to build shit in Minecraft.
There are story like lines. I'm pretty sure. I'm not a Minecraft guy. There are storylines you can take though from what I've seen, like with
there's like mythology with
stuff. But really, I don't know, guys. I genuinely don't know if I can make it through this one.
This looks like
I don't.
This might break. It might be over for me. After
this is the worst of all time.
Minecraft is the last movie that will ever be reviewed on the ReelTok Podcast.
I'm telling you, if this makes $3 billion, I will not come back on this podcast.
It makes $3 billion.
This movie, it could because Minecraft is just such a big like.
It is the number one game ever of all time.
How much did Mario make?
No, it's the biggest game.
I think Fortnite passed it in downloads, right? Or no?
Yeah, but Fortnite's a free game, so it doesn't count.
Okay, deal. Fair.
But to answer your question, I think 1.2 billion or so for Mario.
1.2. Okay, so I think Minecraft could easily make 2. I don't know if it could do 3, but it's not impossible.
It'll make over $1 billion. Yeah,
if
it's not
makes
like
3 though. I agree. We gotta.
Wait, how much did Avatar 2 make?
Dude, it's not making 3. It's not making more than.
If Minecraft makes $3 billion, we should just fold this whole fucking thing. Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
I think maybe if it came out like 5 years ago, like right.
Maybe if it was like animated. Like
right before COVID, I think this could have made a couple billion, no doubt.
I think it'll make over $1 billion for sure, but that's like
a disgusting amount of money for this movie.
It's going to be ass. Something that I think looks good though. First trailer for the studio, starring Seth Rogen as a movie studio executive, also starring Catherine O'Hara, Catherine Hahn, 2 very similar names. 2 names I don't know: Ike Barinholtz and Chase Sui Wonders, and then Bryan Cranston.
Oh, you know Ike Barinholtz.
Charlize Theron and Ron Howard. Whew.
You know Ike Barinholtz.
What's he in?
He's just a goofy guy.
He's just a guy.
I'll do Howard, on the side, but
March 26th, April 20, Apple TV. Oh, I know this guy. That is definitely just like the all-time just a guy. I'll pull him up. Yeah, I know this guy.
Wait, Ron Howard, like the filmmaker?
You know Ike Barinholtz. That's a goofy guy.
Yeah, but George, the movie's about like Seth Rogen being like a studio executive. So I think that's why like Martin Scorsese and Ron Howard are in there. They're probably just gonna play like themselves.
Oh, they're just playing
studio
themselves. Oh, okay.
Like they might have different names, but I'm guessing there's gonna be other studio executives that he's trying to break in that industry of. But I really like the trailer. 2 things I don't love about it. 1 is a TV show. 2 is Apple TV Plus, which Apple TV Plus I feel like has kind of blown like a 3-1 lead a bit. Like I feel like they were considered one of the better studios for like as far as streaming goes, and they're kind of losing that reputation a bit. This has been a rough year for Apple TV.
I don't know why. I'm on like Apple TV's pay. I'm on their payment plan or something because they messaged me on TikTok for Blitz, and I told them no.
Why did you say no?
I know I should have just done it. I haven't made a TikTok in however many months. So like, why is Apple TV messaging me? I appreciate it. Send me something good, but I replied. Like, I've already seen Blitz. I appreciate it, but I don't plan on reviewing it.
The saving grace for Apple TV right now is that Gary Oldman show is meant to be amazing. Slow Horses.
Oh, slow horses.
I've heard like my mom watched that. I've heard really good things about that. Like really good things, but I don't know about it. Disclaimer got like mixed reviews. I think the Quran one that came out, Kate Blanchett.
The Jake Gyllenhaal one got really good reviews. I thought.
What was that called again?
Presumed Innocent. That's on
top
of my head for some reason.
That's a movie I watched. A show I watched the first like 5 episodes for. I was like, yeah, this is good. Never went back to it. Not sure what happened.
But and then Severance coming back after like 4 years off, and then but I feel like you can tell Apple's starting to feel it with the. Ted Lasso season 4, I feel like is like we got to get our streaming numbers back up, and then I guess we'll just jump ahead. Like the quick note of them canceling Wolves 2 because they're basically saying like no more theatrical they don't want to do theatrical anymore, so they're just going for streaming. So I feel like they're whatever they've been doing, what the board is seeing is not working out.
Didn't John Watts pull it? Like,
yeah, it was like basically so. Like the first news is Wolf 2 was canceled, and then John Watts came out and said, "No, screw you guys, it's not canceled."
I canceled it.
He canceled it because like they were supposed to. It was like what happened with Amazon Prime and Roadhouse, where it's like they said they would do a theatrical release, they declined to. So then John Watts canceled Wolves 2, but you know, I'm always gonna be on the side of the creatives and director, but also I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you're entering into an agreement with any streaming service, you kind of are asking for it a little bit. If they say no theatrical, we're only doing streaming originals, I have a little less empathy for you if you're like oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this.
I just don't like don't like when people are dumb. Like if they're like, oh, how could they do this to me? It's like, well, they're a big corporate synergy.
Yeah, it's like, how could Netflix not get put it? Like, it's like you entered a deal with Netflix. Like, I get it. It sucks and I'm on your side, but also got to have a little bit of like Occam's razor or whatever it is, where it's like what the expected outcome is going to be the most obvious one. It's going to be that.
Shout out John Watts for saying, I'm not canceled. You're canceled.
It was funny.
Yeah,
it's like the Denzel grabbing the gun meme, flipping it back on them.
And then we got another new trailer for Pixar's Elio, which is just an all-time movie that I feel like we heard a lot about, like ReelTok episode like 7 maybe, and then just like haven't heard anything about it for like a year and a half, and then now, oh yeah, Elio's coming out in a few months. So
now we're back.
You know, I'm a big fan for it. Excited.
Original. Woo!
Yeah, we saw the news that this year's gonna be the first time in cinematic history where the top 10 highest grossing films are all sequels or franchise.
We should say it says worldwide in that tweet, but it doesn't include like East Asia, I think, like in terms of like Chinese box office and stuff like that.
Yeah, like true. Because there's always like I remember because sometimes I'll make like the top 10 box office. There's always like one Chinese film that's just like
always
insane,
blows up.
Yeah, but you know we'll have to once we find whatever movie that is this year, we'll send it to Cam. And he can do the sniff test if it's slop or not. We got because it could be a franchise we're not familiar with. We also got a trailer for The Bad Guys 2 coming out August 1st, 2025. Bad Guys is a movie that I liked. I watched. It kind of just went in one ear out the other, but I generally liked it.
Yeah, same.
Bad Guys 2 will be something I'll watch on F2 movies. We're not going to beat around the bush here. We're not going to make any. We're not going to be lying or fibbing. This is not a movie I'm using my stubs pass on to say the least. And then finally to end the animated trailer binge, and the one that is probably gonna be the best according to Seth, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, releasing January 3rd on Netflix, which is awesome news because Seth releasing January 3rd, so that probably is going to be your number one movie of 2025 for at least.
Well, technically it releases like Christmas Day here, I think.
Oh, that sucks. Well, in America we'll call
I could just count it. No, because it would still we get Nosferatu in January as well, which is kind of like, you know,
that sucks.
I know, it's like the 6th, I think, which is
fun. You have to come to America. You have to.
You guys see the A24 chocolate movie chocolate?
Yeah.
Someone replied with y'all got any and it was like, y'all got any international releases? It's like we got a movie chocolate.
Yeah, I had that in the news. It's fizzy fountain soda, which is a root beer and popping candy, a popcorn and candy, which is a popcorn and candy coated chocolate pieces, and salty peanut crunch. The only gripe I have about not only gripe. Obviously, the big gripe is like, why the fuck are you making chocolate? What are you doing? Pull your brain out of your butts. The only gripe I actually have though is the packaging does not look like something I'd expect from A24. It looks like the most we're making a Nickelodeon TV show and need some non-branded candy, so like to not get copyrighted. So we just make like a movie candy and like some confetti and balloons. I was like, what is this? Like you could have done so much better, man. But yeah, Wallace and Gromit. Seth, you're excited?
Yeah, I mean, the last one was what? When did the last
Curse of the Were-Rabbit was
a month ago?
I think it was like 2007, 2005.
Wait, didn't one just come out?
Chicken Run might be what you're confused.
No, Chicken Run, I think is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, there was to say it's Aardman Studio. It's the same stop motion, but like, so it's been 19
What should
years.
be the first Wallace and Gromit project I watch?
Probably The Wrong Trousers. That seemed to most people as the best one.
The Wrong Trousers?
Yeah, but they're only like, so the original episodes, they're only like 40 minutes or so they're short. There's only one feature film. This will only be the second feature film. So if you watch like The Wrong Trousers and then just like
Curse of the Were-Rabbit is the feature film.
Yeah,
that's the only feature film.
The only one. The other one's like 30-40 minutes.
Oh shit!
Remember when that story came out that they like They ran out of clay.
They ran out of clay and everything.
They would never make a
This is
movie
saddest
again.
day. Yeah. And then they
Just go
found
get
it.
more
They found
fucking clay. I can go to Target right now and make a damn Wallace and Gromit movie. Just go get more clay.
You know how much fucking clay these guys use? That's crazy.
Every time I'm in a sandbox, if you dig far enough down, clay appears.
You'll find clay.
Go to a beach.
That's like my.
that was a
That's
sad
I'm gonna
day,
write a
man.
feature. I'm gonna write a feature film about like movie studio execs like mining for clay to make their Wallace and Gromit slop. What a fucking joke, man.
That was funny
That
as
was a really
fuck.
sad day.
Those are all
That
the
was
trailers
so
we got
funny.
this week, which are plenty of trailers. We got a bunch of news as well. Warner Bros. has signed a deal with Korean producer CJ E&M to make English language remakes of their films. CJ E&M has previously produced Memories of Murder, Parasite, Decision to Leave, Old
No,
Boy.
this is a fucking fuck off, man. These jerks.
Yeah.
Stupid shit.
Both sides stink here because Warner Bros. is all time just like anti-art studio, and then CJ E&M, whoever you are, you can't buy something that's not for sale. So, you're selling the rights. So both you guys kind of stink. Bad people of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully they got good money for it. I don't know. But yeah, Warner Bros. All time, just like funny week, like buying those rights, which just sucks. And just like turning the Clint Eastwood saga just continues to get so funny. The fact
A
that
Max
it's
original, baby.
Like it's like I feel like this is David Zaslav or whatever has just been constructing like the best way to like screw over Clint Eastwood for a year now. And it's just like slowly moving each chess piece one by one, but hilarious. And now it's like a Max original, and it's probably going to do crazy numbers because like releasing that on Christmas, like going to be all time. The kids will open Christmas presents and they'll be like, oh, let's watch, like It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas Story. And then the men will get the cigars and the whiskey, go into the basement and turn on juror number 2 and then have a good old men time. But James Gunn says multiple R-rated DC projects are being developed. And he says, whatever rating is worthy of the story, that's what we're going to do. I think it's a big thumbs up.
Yeah, this is just like a smart like thing to say. Like Feige and Marvel are just like so locked in on their one, and they always say they're trying to do like different genres and stuff, but it all boils down to like comedy action kind of thing. Like just make movies and connect them however you want, but you could put Deadpool in a serious movie. You could put, I don't know, fucking Jack Black in a Minecraft movie. Like just make whatever movies and connect them however, but you don't have to all do PG-13. Make a kid's show that like kind of connects. I don't know.
I think Moon Knight ruined everyone's future expectations of Marvel because everyone,
like
Feige and everyone was like, this is horror. This is the most an MCU project has pushed the horror genre. And the show comes out. Not
like it was like the most pushing.
Yeah, like the most
R-rated.
R-rated, maybe not horror.
Yeah. Horror
but then
was,
the show comes out,
by
and
now,
you realize it's just another MCU like
It's the same exact thing.
fun comedy show with like 1 or 2 moments that could be frightening for someone below the age of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And now going forward, everyone's like, "Well, we don't believe you.
I don't trust you." Like I trust James Gunn.
I did too, because I've been getting so many clips of the Suicide Squad on my Twitter recently, and I think that I might actually like that movie more than I give it credit for. Because every clip I'm like, damn, this movie does have the sauce. But the thing is, that Marvel, I feel like when Marvel gets to be allowed or whatever, if you want to say that, to use R-rated movies, then I feel like that, like Cam's saying, or you guys are saying, like with the whole comedy aspect, they take that as like we can make
say fuck.
Inappropriate jokes and say fuck. Whereas James Gunn making an R-rated movie like the Suicide Squad, that's a brutal ass movie. And then like the Peacemaker's well R-rated, like he's not just saying, oh, I can make R-rated movies, so I'm just gonna make like silly sex jokes and say the F word a bunch. It's like he's like, no, I'm gonna make a brutal movie. And I just kept seeing so many clips of that ending of Peacemaker. I'm like, damn, or not Peacemaker, Suicide Squad. I'm like, damn, this movie kind of cooks, honestly. Because like a lot of people started saying like made the rounds on Twitter of Superman's gonna be like military American propaganda, and then people were like quoting it with
people were like
the Suicide Squad. Be like, that's not who James Gunn is at all.
Yeah,
based on the movies he has.
They were
He's very anti.
Yeah, that I did see. I did see all those
the
clips
clip going around of him speaking at the round table thing as well all week.
I did not.
I think I did. I just didn't watch it.
Well, it's just the classic, like James Gunn says one thing, people like run with it and make it to whatever. When actually it made sense what he said anyway. But
he's just mind you, the Suicide Squad has an entire action sequence shot through a Peacemaker's helmet, and that's fucking cool. He's got sauce. He's got sauce, man. That's cool.
And then get stabbed in the heart. Epic scene. But rolling into that, Daniel Craig to star as Sergeant Rock in a Sergeant Rock film for DC Studios, and Luca Guadagnino is going to direct the film.
If it happens, let's just Luca Guadagnino.
Sergeant Rock.
It's seeming legit almost.
It might. No, I don't doubt it's legit. I just think if Luca Guadagnino is attached to something, it's probably not going to happen for this day.
But it's definitely like I'd say it's like a 51% chance of in terms of like I'd say it's over 50-50. But resident slot masters, please. Who is Sergeant Rock?
It's kind of like a Captain America-esque person is what I've seen. Like he's let's see. It's a quick Google. I Googled stuff earlier. An infantry fought in the infantry pants of the U.S. Army in the European theater and eventually rose to authority within his unit, Easy Company. The unit was a collection of different individuals. Sorry, can't read. Who managed to participate in every major action in the European war. That to me just kind of screams what they'll try. Like maybe not full on Captain America, but they are like they're like military-esque character. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Sergeant Rock. I'll admit,
but I think that just perfectly encapsulates the difference between Marvel and DC right now. Is DC's making a movie like remember when Guardians announced, people with James Gunn coincidentally, and people just dragged like who the hell cares? Whereas I'm so opposite for this. I was like I don't know or care about Sergeant Rock, but Daniel Craig and Luca Guadagnino, I'm in.
I think it is George, worth noting.
Luca, but Daniel Craig's got to be enough to. Daniel Craig in a DC movie, come on, that's sick.
I mean, that's enough, yeah. But then you take a bad filmmaker and throw him a comic book movie that he's never made.
Break you.
Yeah, like, that's a bad take.
If he shows up with a Benoit Blanc accent, even better
filmmaker. Yeah,
I think it's worth noting that like our perception of Iron Man has obviously changed a lot. But like Iron Man, Captain America, the Avengers themselves were not the big team of Marvel at the time of like the Avengers and such. Like it was X-Men, it was Fantastic Four, it was Spider-Man. Like those were the big. So you know you're starting the DC way and you're going that route of like everyone's getting say Sergeant Rock gets 3 movies. Everyone knows who that person is in 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is. Come back to this moment, you know, like Sergeant Rock is nothing right now, but I think it's worth noting that like Iron Man really wasn't anything at the start of Marvel, and Robert Downey Jr. wasn't anything at the start of like he was in things, right? But he was
in Zodiac, to be fair. That was pretty big.
No, yeah, he was, but Zodiac really was his like his start of his renaissance, but like he wasn't getting any jobs prior to that, really.
Was Zodiac 07?
07.
Yeah, Iron Man was 08. So he might have even been cast in Iron Man before Zodiac was released too. So
people knew
Iron Man was 08 actually. Yeah.
People knew Robert Downey, but like he was, you know,
well, he was huge.
He was out of rehab.
Like he kind of went dark for 10 years. Yeah,
he's out of rehab. They took a shot. So I think it's worth noting like that. Like no one knows Creature Commandos in 10 years, 15 years. Are people gonna fawn over Creature Commandos? You know, I don't know. So.
Robert Downey Jr. also makes music because my dad always listened to his CD in the car, like when I was like 13.
He's
got an album, hasn't he?
I did not know that.
I think
he's so
I don't know
good.
if he did that between. I think that might have been during his rehab years or something.
You know, Jeremy Renner makes music too.
Yes, Jeremy Renner makes music. Jeremy Renner
Diesel makes music too.
Jeremy
all these guys make